good morning, welcome to Sewing Quarter. I'm laughing because our floor manager Jay there is just like he was conducting an orchestra to our little Christmas theme tune this morning. My name's Amy Burrows, I'm with you all morning today and we're joined by the lovely Jo Carter, so we can expect toys and Panda Pop Quilts as well this morning. So let's have a look at what's coming up on today's show. At 8 o'clock, as I said, I'm joined by Jo, and we've got it back. Whale, hello there. We've got a whale, the whale toy in this morning in that lovely Shannon fabric. So it's a really lovely and soft, a nice cuddly toy for Christmas. Then at 9 o'clock, we've got Christmas stash. So lots of different tools and rickrack and ribbons and pom-poms and things you might want to add to your stash for your mates for Christmas. Then at 10 o'clock, Jo's back and we've got a twist on the Panda Pop Quilt. So we're doing the Panda Pop Quilt with cave facet this morning and it looks amazing. It's like a bit of an exotic twist on it, actually. And then at 11, we have got loads of Christmas gifts, all under £40. And the thing, 11 o'clock, that's the time you need to get into your brains this morning. If nothing else that you take from that menu and what we've just got on your screens, 11, 11, 11. Why are we all talking about 11? Legs 11, that's what they say in bingo, don't they? 11 o'clock, we've got the Advent calendar on. If you haven't seen it earlier this week, we've just been teasing you, telling you a bit about it. But we have got a sewing kit Advent calendar that we're going to be launching at 11 o'clock this morning. We've already had, well, we already know we've got some customers because everybody in the office is going to be on their phones at 11 ordering these. They all want one. So this is from Hemline and it's a sewing kit Advent calendar. So every little window inside, filled with sewing gifts, little something to make your morning on that countdown to Christmas. That's better than chocolate, isn't it? A bit more exciting. So 11, 11, 11. Should I say a little bit more? 11 o'clock. That's the time for the Advent calendar. If you do want one, make sure you're with us then. So let me just take that off our desk. I'll put it under our Christmas tree. Let's put it there. Okay. So this hour, whale hello there. If you haven't seen it before, we have got the lovely whale made by Jo Carter. And if you do want to buy one of those this morning, you can do that on the website. So if you head to sewingquarter.com, and you go to the live feed of today's show, so that watch page there. Just underneath that live feed, you'll see everything that you can order. Those are yesterday's products, but that will be updated with all of the products. Oh, it's just loading there now, so everything that we'll have this morning you can order on the website. We are experiencing a little bit of difficulty with our call centre this morning, so if you do want to order anything, everything can be done online at sewingquarter.com. And as soon as they are back up and running again, we'll let you know. And if you haven't ordered online before, if perhaps you're new to Sewing Quarter, where have you been? Where have you been? We've missed you. So what you have to do is you have to register on the website. So if you go up to that little corner there where the cursor is at the moment, just above the search magnifying glass. So you just need to create an account. So that new customer one there, you register with your email address. And then it's just really simple for you to buy online. And once you've got your account there, every time you head back to the website, your account will already be logged in for you. So in terms of putting your payment through and adding things to your basket, that's nice and quick and easy. Remember as well, you can also get in touch on the website. So underneath the live feed of today's show, once you've logged in, you can message the studio. So if you've got any questions about the Panda Pop Quilt or the Advent calendar, or you can email us. So studio@sewingquarter.com. That's your address there. So what you should do this morning, what we're going to do, we're going to open one window. We had a debate about whether we could open the Advent calendar or not, and we think the key is in keeping it a surprise. We know you won't want to necessarily know everything that's in there, but we are going to open one window as a little taster so you get an idea of what's in it. So let's see, what number window should we open? I know logically it should probably be 1, but maybe we should go for, have you got a lucky number? Which window? Email us, studio@sewingquarter.com. Let us know which window we should open this morning at 11. So this hour is the whale. So have I got a whale here to show you? I haven't got one, but we'll get you one. I'll get a whale to show you a whale. Oh, we've got one on here. Here's one just on our... Oh, it's a different colour. I'm being told it's a different colour. We'll get one in a second. So we've also got the penguin kit this morning. I'm going to start by showing you the whale. Here it is, you can see. So these instructions have been put together by Jo, who is with us this morning to talk us through how to do it. And we've got 3 colourways. So this is a slightly different twist where normally we haven't had... 2 colours and 1 whale that you can make from the kit. This is what we're offering this morning. So you get all of your instructions in there. You can see step-by-step photography, the list of everything that's included and how you're going to make it. Then you've also got your template, so for the tail and the fin. Side body. Well, I wonder if that's what whales call them. This is my side body. And then you've got the middle and all those different pieces, the different parts that you need to make your whale. and the tummy. So 3 different colourways, as I said. And what's lovely about the whale is it's super cuddly because it's made in a Shannon fabric. So it's a really lovely, soft fabric. And that one there you can see on your screen is the first kit. That's the grey and baby blue. Here we are. I've got a little whale. Let me show you one. This is the blue version, but here it is. It's a really lovely cuddly toy. I think the shape just lends itself to. It's nice little cuddly one. But also the material itself, as you can see, you quite naturally want to sort of stroke it. You can just see there with the sort of the pile of the fabric. It's that really sort of almost a velvety feel. So this is the pink one. You can see here you've got the 2 different fabrics. So you get your 2 different colourways there. And these are fat quarters of the 2 different Shannon fabrics. And then you've also got your thread. You also obviously get your instructions, your wadding, and also a skein of embroidery thread so you can do the eye as well. Now, previously we have had plastic eyes. What we've done this time, knowing that we're in the lead up to Christmas and perhaps you might be making these to give to children as a Christmas gift, what we've done is this time we've swapped it for an embroidery thread. So rather than using the plastic eye, just because obviously if you might be giving it to a young child and you've got any safety concerns with that, we're going to look at today how you might embroider the eye instead of using that plastic one that we've got on here. The other colourway we've got is a darker blue with a white. It's kind of an ocean blue actually, and teamed with a baby blue thread. But you can just see that lovely soft fabric. What is it about that just makes you want to stroke it? You really do just want to keep it in your hands. So that's the blue whale kit, electric blue. So remember there are those 2 different blue options this morning. One's baby blue and grey, and one is an ocean blue and a bright white. So Jo's going to be making a whale this morning so she can show us exactly how it's done. I'll leave our little whale friend there. Oh, and you might be able to see, he's just peeking up behind there. We've also got a couple of penguin kits. So we've had quite a lot of requests actually for the penguin when we had this last on. And again, these are instructions from Jo. This is one of Jo's designs. And so we brought it back this morning, sort of keeping in that theme of, what would we call it? Kind of an ocean theme. So you can see here in this colourway, the one that we're offering this morning is in the traditional sort of penguin colours with your bright orange and your black, and also with the cream for the tummy. So the penguin softy, let me show you just the instructions. Again, these are so thorough, so easy to follow. Let's have a look. So you've got your step-by-step piecing instructions there, everything you need. And again, all of your templates. So you've got 1.5 meters of fabric, your instructions, your stuffing, and your thread. Oh, here it is. This is the penguin. This is it in that traditional colourway. Oh, we've got a stock announcement on the penguin. This one, it's very, very limited this morning. So we're not demoing the penguin this morning, but because we've had requests to see the penguin back and for you to get the kits, we have managed to get a couple from our warehouse back in the studio this morning. So lots of people already putting these in their baskets. So remember, today you do need to check it out on the website. We're experiencing a little bit of difficulty with the call centre. So just check it out online if you do want the penguin. Already 10 of you with it in their baskets, and it's 8:10. So off you go. If you do want that one, please do check it out. And that's that colourway, that traditional penguin with your black, white and your orange. Lovely. Needs to do a little dance, our little penguin. So we're doing the whale this morning. So let's head over to Jo and get started. I'm just going to keep this with me because it's nice and soft and cuddly. Morning, Jo.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. Well, we'll tell people Jo's going to a wigwam at the weekend. I think that sounds really fun. I want to go to a wigwam. So we're doing the whale. You've done this a couple of times before.
I have, yes.
But we're mixing up the colours today.
Yes, this one, I like to think of this as like the milkshake whale.
The milkshake whale. It's sort of the strawberry flavour. We could have different flavoured whales. So how tricky or easy is this one to do?
It's not too tricky. The only part of it I would say is quite tricky is, so it's stitching this corner here that sort of forms the smile. But
okay.
I will show a way of doing that makes it a little bit easier.
So with all of them, you always say, don't you, the face is really about how you keep that character and how it's going to look exactly like this.
Yes.
Is spending a bit of time making sure that the face is exactly
yes, and
right.
It is worth. I mean, it is a bit of a tricky corner, but I do think it really does give the face, because there's not an awful lot of detailing on the face. It's a nice simple design, but I do think that little turn there just gives it a bit of a cheeky smile.
Better to have a happy whale than because what would be the other option really? It would just be sort of straight across, wouldn't
Yes.
it? It's better that he looks a bit happy about things. So look, he looks like he's just going to skim across, doesn't he, across the table. So how do we get started with this one? Do you want to look at the face first of all, or where would you begin?
Well, first of all, cutting it all out. Need to reverse. These are the fins. I call them fins, but they're probably flippers, aren't they?
I'm not sure, technical whale terms.
You need to cut out 4 of them, but once you've done 2, halfway, flip the template over and do the other 2, because you need them as mirror images. So these pieces as well need to be cut.
So in the instructions, we've got those templates all in there, so you just draw around those,
yes.
or photocopy them even.
And all the seam allowances are included. The seam allowance is 1/4 inch or 6 millimetres.
Okay, great.
Okay, should I...
So we draw around those. We've got the instructions there, so I can just show you the templates if I skip through to the back. So it's for all of these pieces.
And the tummy piece is along, as the middle body, a long piece, so you need to join the templates, match up the dotted lines so that you get the full piece.
So you just do all of it. You do all your cutting first of all, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Just get all of those in place and then ready to go.
And I will draw them all out on the fabric and get them as close together as possible to save as much fabric, to be as economic with the fabric as possible, and then I will cut them all out. And with a short pile fur like this, you can get away with just cutting it, but if it was a longer fur, you'd need to sort of snip just the backing fabric and avoid the fibres as much as possible. Otherwise...
Yeah, what happens with that in terms of the edges? Does this behave differently if someone hasn't maybe worked with a Shannon fabric before? Does it behave differently to just perhaps the cotton that, for example, the penguin's made out of?
It does. It has a lot of stretch and it's really forgiving as well. It takes a bit of practice to get used to, but I really, really like sewing with this because you've got that flex. Sometimes you think, will that fit? You can just give it a little bit of a pull here or another there.
Yeah.
It does, and it works really
do it
well.
for you.
But it's worth practicing, just getting used to, for example, the fabric underneath. Let's get these 2 mirror image pieces. You want to just be able to see the bottom piece because there's a chance sometimes it can slip away underneath. So you might have the correct seam allowance on the top and then you turn it over and it's a little bit smaller on the other side. So it's worth practicing, putting 2 edges together and just making sure you've got a feel for the way the fabric behaves, really.
And in terms of the actual cutting of the fabric and the edge of it as well, obviously you get a little bit of, almost just like fluff, don't you?
It will shed a little bit from the edge, yeah.
But it's not going to fray any differently to a cotton or...
The edge holds together really nicely, actually. You don't have to worry about fraying at all. In that way, it is different from a cotton. There's no fraying. And it holds its shape, but then you can stretch it at the same time. It doesn't stretch uncontrollably. I think
it doesn't just splat.
No, some do.
Out,
just,
it's not like a jersey or anything, or like a lycra or something that's going to really stretch out of shape.
No.
We had a question in as well. Oh no, this was, can you open number 17? It's my lucky number. So yes, we're going to get a collection of numbers and we've got to pick a number this morning for the advent calendar. And also, do you sell the whale fabric separately? And we are going to have this Shannon fabric this morning. We've had so many requests in for it that we've now got it in fat quarters where we're going to try and get it in at, what time, Producer Hannah, what time do you think we might be able to get that in? We're not sure if it's been booked in, but we're going to try and get that in this morning. So we'll see if we can get that in for you. Producer Hannah will know in the next 15 minutes or so if we can get that in. The advent calendar, that's at 11, remember. So so far we've got a vote for open number 17. What's your lucky number?
I don't know, but my best friend's favourite number is 17 as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine's 8.
Do you like 8?
That's why. I don't know why. I don't know what a lucky number's all about, where that comes from. So do you have to use a different foot for this fabric? Obviously, we've spoken about cutting it, but it just behaves...
I don't even change my needle. I will use a 12. Whilst it is a heavier, the needle goes through really smoothly anyway. So you could move up to a 14 if you wanted to use that. But I stick with my usual needle on the machine and just go for it.
So really, it's a nice, easy transition to a different fabric. It's nothing too scary, or it doesn't really do anything that drastically different to what we used to.
No, I don't think so at all. And I know people find it a bit intimidating and think, oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to make of this, but hopefully people will be pleasantly surprised. I really like it.
And the finished effect is different as well. Obviously, you have a very different feel to that than you do the cotton toys. It is nice and cuddly and soft. So you've done your cutting out. You did your fins. Obviously, you said you've got to do 2, then turn it over and mirror. So you've got them to sit here, or flippers.
So I'll stitch around these now. I'll make the 2 that I always usually start off with doing the bits that will be sewn in. So get all those bits and bobs ready.
So remember this morning as well, we are having a little bit of trouble with our call centre, so everything can be ordered on the website. As soon as the call centre are back up and running and all in the flow of things, we'll let you know. And so if you do want to order something, remember you can do that online rather than on the phone this morning. And if you're new to Sewing Culture, maybe you haven't seen Jo before, Jo is queen of the toys, aren't you? You're just, honestly, every toy that you probably see in the studio, pretty much all of them have been made and designed by Jo. She does incredible different designs, and your background is toy making, isn't it?
It is.
You used to sort of, I always remember, was it the mouse you said that you produced, and it was replicated?
I think there were 108,000 of the mice made in the end.
And your mother-in-law said, didn't she, how are you going to make all of those? She thought Jo had to sit and make 108,000.
Yes, I only did the first couple for approval.
But once they're approved, off they go. But yes, so these are all Jo's designs, all of the instructions. So you'll see as Jo talks you through, you can understand that process and then sort of translating that onto paper. And you design for the magazines as well. They quite often overlap, don't they, from Simply Sewing?
They do. I have, I think, an owl this month in Simply Sewing magazine.
We had it on the magazine on yesterday.
So what can be tricky is you can't necessarily see the edge of the fabric underneath. You sort of see the fur, really. So it's getting used to that and how much of that you should see to know that you're taking the right seam allowance underneath. But as well, with cotton, I'd clip, quite a lot of clipping around curves, but because of the stretch of the Shannon, it just allows for it. So you don't really need to clip. If I say to clip, it's it definitely has to be done.
It does need to be clipped.
Because otherwise...
So maybe those really sort of sharp curves, you might have a little bit of clipping, but generally...
steep corner, yeah.
It will ease itself in.
So I'll just turn that the right way out.
I'll do this one.
Now you could pop a little bit of filling in these if you wanted to, but I think because the fabric's quite thick, I think they're quite nice without any in. And then I'll just baste across the top just to hold the edges together so when they're stitched in place, one doesn't slip down. And again, you take a little bit less of a seam allowance than you'd like. So I'll just baste across here. And you can use a wider stitch.
I think this one could work quite well as a doorstop if it was filled with pellets. Because it's quite big, isn't it? That would be quite cute if you wanted to sort of fill it up with something a bit heavier.
But if you're going to pop pellets or something like that in, just make sure they're inside just make a lining cotton bag to put them in. So they go in as sort of a unit, a sealed bag. As one go, rather than, so if it was sort of, you've got a hole in it anyway, you're not going to end up with pellets all over your, they won't stream your bedroom floor or wherever it might be. And also it stops them sort of migrating, so it holds them in the one place, whereas if they just go in loose and there's stuffing as well, they can end up sort of spreading out and losing the effect. It gives it that weight
in one place, doesn't it? It grounds it rather than it being...
Get rid of my threads. Right, so there. The fin's done. So now I'm going to sew. Actually, I should probably look at the instructions just to make sure I'm doing this the right way around.
Check Jo's own instructions. Here we go. So number 1 was out, you can see on here, just following the steps. Number 1 was the flippers or fins. And then the next one, just moving on to step 2 there. Okay.
So I'm at the right bit. Now, this is to sew the middle upper body around the side. This bit, because it's cut on the grain, doesn't particularly stretch, but this will stretch because it's cut on the bias. So pinning, actually. I'm not a big pinner normally.
No, particularly the toys don't tend to.
No, if you put pins in, you've got to make sure they come out. I'm going to keep the straight edge on top and I'm going to feed it round, bring it round the curved edge, but I'm going to pin it just to make sure.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I might end up with not enough of this left at the end of the body. But it doesn't go all the way along
That's not going to give as much, quite as much, is it?
It won't.
Because it's...
So it doesn't go all the way to the edge here. It joins to about there. I don't know whether my marker shows up, but I'll pin this in place.
Jo, I'm a bit concerned you're going to run out of animals to make. Do you feel like you're going to reach the point where there are no more animals for you to design?
I regularly just think I just don't have any ideas, and then somebody suggests something, and then
you get a new,
oh no, I've never done
inspiration.
that. So.
We've got a new one tomorrow, haven't we? Actually,
we have.
We've got a cheeky robin that we've got in tomorrow morning. So a Christmas robin.
And that's one I've designed for Sewing Quarter.
That's not for the magazine. That was for us.
The only
that's an exclusive Sewing Quarter design. Oh, we've got another message from Anne. Morning, Anne. Jo, when cutting out, do you have to be aware of the nap of the fabric?
Yes, the templates will have an arrow on them, and that indicates the pile direction. So you want if you were stroking it so it lay flat, it would go in that direction, the direction of the arrow.
Okay, so it would be, say, for example, if that was that one, it would be that way because the arrow's there. I know it's a different body part, but it needs to just correspond to what's on that template.
So this is the top of the tail, and the arrow points to the back. It's just so you get that smooth, it strokes sort of that way.
So it'd be like that.
Does that make sense?
Okay. And Anne's lucky number is 13.
Ooh,
controversial, Anne.
Controversial.
That's a controversial lucky number. Where is the advent calendar? Just here, 11 o'clock. We're going to have those on this morning. If you didn't see on Facebook, on social media, we've got a sewing kit advent calendar from Hemline. So lots of little surprises for you to open in the countdown to Christmas. 11 o'clock, we're going to have that on. And we're having a little debate about which window we should open. So we've had a vote for 13, 17. Well, kind of 2 votes for 17, actually. And my lucky number is 8. So we'll see where we get to at 11.
I don't know. I mean, my birthday's 19. Maybe I should make that my lucky number.
I don't know why you feel like you have to have a lucky number. It's just if someone says, oh, can you... It's like lottery numbers, isn't it? Sometimes people have set numbers that they do. I've not done the lottery for ages, actually.
No, I don't do the lottery. Now I worry that if I start, maybe my numbers have already come up. Because what were the chances they would come up for a second time?
But I also think if you do it all the time and then you missed one, you'd get so hooked on not wanting to miss it in case that was your week when your numbers come up.
Because, can you imagine if that happened, though?
People do it as well in sort of is it a syndicate when you're in a club? Yeah. It's almost where you all share numbers, and my granddad used to do that.
Just readjust that so it all fits.
Okay. And those penguin graphics across the bottom of your screen this morning. So we're not making the penguin, but we had lots of requests for it. This is what comes in the kit. So again, it's Jo's instructions. You've got your stuffing, you've got your 1.5 metre of fabric, and your embroidery thread. Can you make more than one penguin out of 1.5 metres? 2 penguins?
I don't know. I don't commit. Okay. I think you probably could. So 1/2 metre of the black. I think you probably could, but don't hold me to it.
Maybe in different colourways or...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Over half the stock of that one has gone. So ZAGC66, remember you can check that out on the website this morning. And it's $19.99, so this is our little penguin. And we are just on the website this morning rather than the call centre, but hopefully that will change in the next hour or so.
So I'm just stitching the centre panel to one side.
Okay.
I'm just bringing the straight edge around the curve. I think it's the easiest way of doing it. Try not to get my fingers caught on the pins. I'm going to take that one out, actually. Otherwise,
have you seen that new micro-stitch tool that we've had in?
No,
yeah. It's kind of a gadget where, you know, the little tags. I don't know why I love it. I'm obsessed with this tool. But the little tags that you have price tags attached to garments on in the shops, it's kind of like that, and you can just shoot it through the material. It's like a gun, really, with almost these little plastic tags, and it acts as a basting stitch.
I've heard somebody mentioned it in the office. I would love to see that because basting is the worst part for me.
Just really, but also, particularly with toys, if you don't want to use pins, you just put them through, and then you can pull them apart afterwards or cut them out. But it's really clever.
It does sound brilliant.
Oh, we've also got a message from Rachel. Morning, Rachel, from the West Midlands, so she's just round the corner. Whereabouts are you, Rachel? Let us know. Morning, ladies. Coffee, check. Blanket, check. Snuggles, check. And lovely, cuddly toys, check. Love them both. Brilliant. Thanks, Rachel. Sounds like you're nice and there, all cuddled up and snuggly this morning, ready to watch us.
Morning, Rachel.
I hope it's a cup of tea. Oh, no, it was coffee, check. I was going to say, I hope it's a cup of tea, but coffee.
Okay, so I've stitched that one on. I'll just make sure all the pins come out. I took most of them out as I went. So that's stitched all the way around. So you've got that shape then on one side. And now I need to do...
So this is this section and the top.
And the top, yes.
Yeah.
So I'll pop the other side on in the same way.
And you just said there was going to be, at the end, it was that section there, there will be a leftover part. I don't know if you can just see.
Yep.
So you sort of stitched all the way along there, and then you've still got a bit of leftover from that main central section that's going to go into the tail.
It just slims it down before the end of the tail starts.
Into this part here. Okay. So we do exactly the same process, but on the other side.
Yes. I should probably do it straight edge. I'll practice what I preach. I was going to do it with the curved on top then.
Okay.
I'll do it this way.
Well, while you do that, if it's exactly the same, we're just going to look at the different... We've got some different Shannon fabrics to show you this morning, so we'll pop back in a second. Let's have a look. Was there another message? You've got lots of messages coming in this morning. I like that. Oh, lucky number 2. We're going to end up with a tally strike. That's what we're going to... We should have... producer Hannah upstairs is going to have to do a tally. So the whale bundles, should we start with those? Which one's most popular at the moment? The pink. Okay. So that milkshake, the milkshake whale, as Jo said, you get 2 fat quarters in here, so I'll open one of these to show you, actually. You've got your pale pink. That's not a fat quarter, is it? Oh, okay. It's just been cut differently. So you've got that one there. You've got a paler pink, and then you've got the darker pink that you can see the main body. That's what Jo's working with at the moment, with that lovely soft Shannon fabric. Then you've got your pink thread as well. Your wadding, your embroidery skein, and your instructions. And all of the templates in there too. WYGC77, 19.99. So all of these are the same price, but just different colourways. Which is next most popular? The light blue. So that one there has been teamed with a really lovely soft grey. This would make a nice toy for a newborn, actually, because it's really lovely and sort of in terms of textures, and especially with the embroidery thread for the eyes rather than that plastic eye, from a safety point of view for a little gift. Or we're in single figures for this one, so LLGC82. You can check that out online. Just online only this morning. If you're struggling with the call centre, that's because they're having a bit of trouble, so you can check it out on the website, sewingquarter.com. And finally, we've got the dark blue whale, so in that lovely ocean blue, and this one's with an optical white, so it's a brighter white. You can see the difference there with that pale pink next to it. And the blue thread as well. And then you've also got, again, your big bag. I haven't shown you this, actually. I'll show you this massive bag of toy stuffing, so you're going to have some left over in your stash, I'm sure, for another toy or another project or something else you might have on the go. So, we've got some news on this darker blue colourway. Oh, lots of people with this one in their basket. So if you do like that one, you have to check it out as well, because it's going to be, if we end up with more people, it's not guaranteed. If it's something that's in your basket, it doesn't mean that it's sort of allocated to you until you've checked it out. So if you go all the way through to the checkout point at the end, then it's yours. And remember, you'll only pay 1 P&P anyway, so you won't be caught twice. And then the penguin, which I've left on the other table, and we're not making this morning, but we've got all of the instructions for that and also the kit. So 1.5 meters of fabric in the classic penguin colourway in black and cream and the orange. You've got 2 threads, and then you've got your embroidery skein as well. Very limited on this one. Less than 10, so we're in single figures for the penguins. ZAGC66, 19.99. So those are our 2 animals. We had some requests to see some Shannon fabric. So we've got some, first of all, we've got some bundles. We've got the fat quarter bundles, which we've never had before. We've had this by the 1/2 metre. But the fat quarters may be enabling you to play around with some different colours if you want to mix and match them, or even just to get a little bit and to have a try. So the first fat quarter bundle this is our bright Shannon bundle. So you get 4 in here. So you've got the pink, first of all. That lovely pink that you can see in the milkshake whale. So maybe you've already got the instructions for the whale or one of the other toys that Jo's made, and you want to try it in a completely different colourway. You've got your rich red there. Or maybe you want to add this to your stash, to try working with something a little bit different. Oh, nice and snuggly. You could make like a little snuggle blanket, couldn't you? Or you can make slippers, producer Hannah's saying. Really lovely. And you've got your grey on top there. So the bright Shannon bundle, and that one's £19.49. Then you've also got, is this 6 in this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is our pastel bundle. So you've got your bright yellow on the top there. Again, that lovely soft Shannon fabric. And if you do a lot of soft toy making, and you have got those instructions and you just want to give it a go with something else, you could have these. Or maybe you've got your own ideas and you're designing your own toys or doing something, you know, having a play. As Jo was saying, it's a bit more forgiving in terms of there's a little bit of stretch to this, so it's not quite so strict. Then you've got that soft baby blue. Really lovely to make something for maybe new babies or for young children, just because of the sort of texture of this fabric. Then you've got your bright white. You've got your cream. Cushions would be nice out of this as well, actually, little mini cushions. And then you've got your soft pink as well. So that's the pastel Shannon bundle with 6 of those in there. So 6 fat quarters in all of those different colours. OOGC61, and that one is £29.45. So, should we head back over to Jo and carry on with the whale? We were just attaching the back to those side sections, weren't we? So we've mirrored it on the other side.
Yep, so I've got the top bit now.
Which is going to go over there.
And look at each other.
Yeah.
Right, and now I'm going to join...
That reminded me, sorry, did you watch The Great British Bake Off?
I did.
Did you not? You did?
I
that
did.
Reminded me of the 2 flamingos that Stacey made. They were like head to head, weren't they? 2 little whales.
That was unbelievable, the things that...
Aren't they incredible?
Yes.
I don't know, I thought Liam was great, though, that went the week before. I really thought he should have stayed.
My boys are hooked on it, and they both were disappointed Liam
that he went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think Stephen's great. I was holding my breath. I was like, please, I hope you go through.
Oh, with the big crack in
yeah, I know. Because you just see it happen. And I thought, I always think as well, how long is it between when they finish making and then they've got to carry it up to the judges? And they probably has to be filmed and photographed. And if it's left for like an hour or 2 and it cracks, or it just changes a bit or drops in that tent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's good. I like Prue as well, new edition.
Yes. They didn't see my technique with baking is if it doesn't look quite right, just put loads of icing sugar over the top.
Just dust it.
Nobody knows, but they can't get away with that, really, can they?
No, you can't really do that with sewing, can you? Like cocoa powder or icing sugar all over your mates.
I might think of an equivalent.
Yeah, what could it be? Like sequins?
Yes, but a bow. Put a big bow on it.
Glitter, that's the one.
Right, I'm going to join the top tail now to the back of the top body, if that makes sense.
So this part here.
And it joins around this sort of V-shaped opening. And what could make it easier? There are a few strands on the edge. If I just remove those, just so I can definitely see the clear, get a clear view of the edge of the fabric. And I'll pop a pin in there in the centre. I'm just going to sew around that V just to fix the tail on the end. And that V shape helps the tail sort of kick up a bit at the back. It just shapes it up rather than being straight down.
In here, going into here, you mean?
This is the seam. Yeah, we're going to sew this seam here.
So it just helps to give it that little lift.
Just a little bit of a kick up at the back.
It's like chamois.
Needle in the top, at the top of the V. Take that pin out now. Pivot it round and just sew down the other side.
The pale blue and grey bundle is really, really popular, so make sure you check out your baskets on that one particularly. We are limited on stock, so that one's going to come up. Oh, it's on the bottom of your screen, that one at the moment.
Okay, and that's the top of the body assembled, and I'll base the fins, the flippers, the fins. in
Something like that.
Yeah. My animal knowledge is not great.
It's better than mine.
So I'm going to base it to the right side, in between the markers, just to fix those into place. So when I join the lower body to the upper body, they're even and they match and they're in the right position.
Is the position marked on the template where they would go?
There is a mark. On my patterns, I put little sort of pointy markers pointing out that way, only because normally they go in the opposite way on a template if you're drawing it out. But often toys have tiny little darts in, and I don't want to confuse a dart with what is a marker. So I send my markers the other way.
And
if that
also
makes sense.
with the markers on there as well for the nap of the fabric or for the pile of it, you don't want to have could get a bit confusing, couldn't it, if you've got arrows and things here, there, and everywhere.
Just baste that in.
Are you planning to make anything for your boys for Christmas?
I don't know. I've not had.
Not got round to that yet.
Yes, Christmas. I've started to think about Christmas sewing and things.
I think after Halloween, you sort of then it starts to become a bit more. Well, it just feels like it's there, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, it's creeping up really quickly this year, I think. They have stockings from previous years. Make them stockings and things. They've got sacks. So I could have a thing. We often will make Christmas tree decorations or decorations to go around the house together.
And then you can just add those in, couldn't you, every year?
Yes, and they love getting them down and seeing.
Because you forget as well, don't you? That's what I always... You've got everything boxed up maybe in the loft or something, and then you get it all down, you go, oh, I forgot I got that last year, or I added this bit, or...
Yeah, often as well, if you have felt shapes and things, you can just sew them together, just chain piece them in garlands, and they like doing things like that and just putting them around pictures
on the banister
and things.
Or on the...
Yeah.
And do you have an advent calendar?
Oh, one. We normally have 3. There's 2 I've sewn in previous years, and I say, which one do you want to have out? And they'll say, oh, I think we should have both, which means
of course they would.
Double the chocolate. And then they have a toy one as well, so...
They're not silly, are they?
No.
They know. They know what they want. I do usually have a chocolate one. We've got a grown-up sewing kit advent calendar this morning at 11, so...
It's a brilliant idea. I've not had a proper look at it. I want to see
what's inside.
Yeah.
Everyone in the office outside, actually we've had a brand new buyer join the team at Sewing Quarter, and the advent calendar was, he's called Ian, and the very first thing he ordered was the advent calendar, and everyone was like, I think this bodes well for what might be to come, because it's a great addition and going to be a popular one. My little sister, when she was young, she'd get the advent calendar, and my mum found her once before even the first day behind her bedroom door, just with chocolate all over her face, just couldn't wait. She just had to go for it.
Yes, my brother once, and he was in his 20s at this point, because he's a bit older than me. And I was probably too old for an advent calendar.
You're never too old. I think you'd always have an advent calendar.
He opened the 24, the big door, took the chocolate out and sealed it back up, so I didn't find out until Christmas Eve.
That's so
that the chocolate had gone.
That's the best one as well, because it's always the biggest one.
I know. It was... and even now, when I bring it up, he thinks I'm being pathetic to still be bothered about
holding the grudge. No, you've still got that lodged in your memory. Some of them as well go up to New Year, I saw. They have up to 31st. Do you think that's a bit too far? Because you're kind of chocolated out by then.
Yeah, Christmas does bring a lot of chocolate with it. Yeah.
The big tin and all of those. I've had another message in from Penny. Morning, Penny. Hi, my lucky number, if only, would be 7.
So there's quite a...
Strike on the
tally.
How
will we pick?
I know, I'm not sure. It probably is going to be a tally upstairs.
Right, for the tummy piece, I'm going to sew it together along what will be this seam, the centre seam, but I'm going to leave an opening here so that I can turn it and stuff it through this. So I'm going to sew from one end to there and stop, and from the other end and stop, just to leave that opening. So I'll do that now.
Okay.
It's just the best place to have the opening. Well, it's underneath, so you don't see it as
You're going
much.
to get that hidden away. Oh, we've got a quick announcement. What was this? What was the announcement? It was a very, very important announcement. Yeah, the customer service lines are working, so you can get back on the phone if you want to order anything. 0800 112 4433. We're back in action, so you can give them a ring if you have got anything that you want to order, or any questions or queries about the products today. That's good. That's good news.
That's one side done. I'll do the other one from here, whilst the pin's in this side. I knew I'd hit the right. I always hit the button that ties a knot rather than just... I'd like to do a show where I don't hit that button.
Is that your thing? That's your thing, that little niggle that happened?
I do it every time.
Or maybe we should get you on to do buttons. We'll get you on to do a shirt or something with lots of buttons on it.
Well, then I'd hit reverse.
At least then you'd get it and it'd be lodged in. Oh, we've got an update on the penguin kits, was that? A penguin kit update to our little penguin friend. How are we doing on that one? Less than 5, so we've got only a couple of those ones left. So we're not making this one today, we just have requests to have it back. So 1.5 meters of fabric, your stuffing, your instructions, your thread, £19.99. And now and maybe if you were waiting, because you can't order online, you can do that on the phones now. 0800 112 4433, and the item number for that is ZAGC66. So if you missed out previously on our little penguin, less than 5 of those left now. So we've got 2 openings really left in this. It's kind of stitched, and then open at the the back.
So we've left that, and it's about a hand's width, generally speaking, so you can get a hand in and stuff it properly. And now, all I need to do now is join the top and the bottom body. But there's this corner, so I'm going to draw in, and actually it's really helpful with a pen as well that disappears, you can get rid of. I'm going to draw in the seam allowance. So I want to sew round here and pause at this corner with the needle down through the fabric at this point, and then lift the presser up to reposition everything to sew along this side. I'm going to start at the top and come round and do that bit. But for the other side, you have to go in the opposite direction, but again, keep this, I'll draw it on this side as well, it's easier with the tummy side up.
Okay.
Whereas you'd naturally want to flip it over and have the upper body on top. It's actually much more difficult to position it round from this side. So keep the tummy piece on top. So this
section here is going to be on top.
Yes.
That makes it easier to
sew
fit those in.
It does. So I'll join, there's a marker in the centre, so I'll line those up and I'll sew along one side. I won't go around the whole thing. I'll do that at the end if there's time. But I'll just sew both of these corners. So I've lined up the central seam with the tummy, with the marker at the top.
This is a quick one, isn't it, this
make? It is quite
We've pretty much done, like fairly quickly. We've managed, and there was not prep, it wasn't, already pre-made or pre-parts of it done. You've done that all in live time, sort of.
It's a nice quick one to have a go at. This is the only tricky bit though, so it's right before the end. So I'll just bring this round. And I'll keep the fabric like this so I can see this corner that I'm aiming at.
Just taking it slowly.
So I'm going to bring the fabric round to the corner. And you want this bit to come beyond, because you want the needle through there. This will be the seam allowance. So this bit does come quite a bit beyond the fabric underneath, but that's right. Let's get to this point.
So you sew right down to that corner?
Right to that corner. Pivot everything round. And you can, it makes it a little bit easier if you make a tiny snip into the corner on the upper body, the top body section. It just helps to free it up. So I'll reposition this round. I'm just going to use my scissors just to nudge that bit of fabric out. So that's the corner of the fabric. So I've just pulled that out of the way so it doesn't get caught up.
You just want to keep that free underneath so it can...
Just make sure that's not wrinkled. I'm going to sew out of that corner. I'll sandwich the fin in and then I'll stop on, hopefully.
So you do end up with a tiny little overlap of that, the whale, like the back of the whale, almost like a dog ear, don't you, over the top?
Yes.
And that's right, so it should be like that.
Yes.
You can just see it there, can't you?
So I've come round, there's the corner. That's the corner, the seam there. And you can't see, you can know that it's difficult because it's quite difficult to pull out and view once it's stitched.
But there is that sort of little overlap, and that's right.
This is the fin, so
yeah.
That's a bit of a flipper, and we want that corner.
There, like that. Okay.
And we turn it out the right way. Hopefully we've got, that nice sort of smile.
That little upturn just makes the difference.
It does.
Gives it some character and personality, doesn't it?
And again, from this side, I'm going to go so I'll line up the marker for the flipper so it's in the right position. And then I'll stitch the corner in the same way, but this time going in the opposite direction. And that does make it a little bit.
Why did you do it in the opposite direction this time round?
Just so the tummy piece is on the top again.
Oh, yes. Okay, you did say that earlier. But also, it would be easy to think, oh, it's the light pink one, but you could do this. You've got the same amount of fabric of both, so you could do it the other way around if you wanted to. You could have the top section in that paler pink and the tummy in the darker if you wanted to. You can mix and match it. Or you could have the grey and blue. You could do it any way around you like.
So I've got the bottom bit, this bit, the bit on the bottom, which is actually the top body. I've got that nice and flat to the corner, so that's laying out smoothly. And again, I'm going to stitch up, needle down at the corner and pivot everything round. And I'll make just a tiny snip into the corner, just so it frees it up a little bit. And I want this bit of fabric just out of the way, which is the corner of the tummy. There we go. So I'll pull it out of the way so everything's nice and straight.
And just following that. It's helpful to have that line there, isn't it? I can see why you did that.
It really helps just to have something to aim at, really.
Because otherwise you are just going blind at it, aren't you, really?
It can get a bit fluffy and for
literally, yeah.
So make sure that seam's not rolling up, and I'll just finish that where I started the other side. I think I pressed the knot button again.
We should have like an alarm that goes off every time you press it. The button.
There, I've just rolled up the seam allowance and caught it in the seam. But there you can see, there's the corner, and I snipped into it slightly, just to that freedom of movement.
Just in there, I'm just going to show that bit in here. Yeah.
And then the other way up, you can see it just follows the line that was drawn on. And this, hopefully, on this side, is another
nice little
corner to the smile. And then from
upturned smile.
From then on, I'll carry on round and just sew all around the tail and the side body and join the tummy and the upper body together. And that's
because you've left the hole in the tummy for the stuffing, haven't you?
So
you can go all the way round.
So, yes. Join them all around the sides now.
And this time, because we aren't using the plastic eyes and we are going for the embroidery thread, at what point would you do that once you've sewn it all together?
I do. Once it's sewn together and stuffed, I don't close the opening in the bottom. I'll go through the opening with my needle, so I can tie a knot in the end of the embroidery thread, but then take it in through the gap, out where I want it to, pull it tight, so then the knot's inside.
And it's hidden.
And just back stitch a circle and then fill it in with long stitches. And you can start with a small eye and just gradually increase the size of it until you know what size. You're happy with the size of it. Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Because with all other animals, you'd have a little nose or you'd have whiskers or something, and it's very simple because there isn't.
It is.
As you say, the front here of the whale is just very sort of clean and easy. We've got about 5 minutes left, so we're doing very well for time.
Quite a nice one to fit into the hour, isn't it?
Yeah. Usually we're manically rushing, or we go, oh, we'll quickly skip over that so we can get to... Oh, we've had another message in from Leslie. Morning, Leslie. Hi, ladies. My favourite number is 7 or 21. I enjoy watching Jo making animals.
Oh, thank you.
We all do. We all do. So if you've just tuned in this morning and you don't know what we're talking about, favourite numbers, we've got a sewing kit advent calendar that we're going to be launching at 11 o'clock this morning. So it's a brand new product. You can just see it here. And so 11 o'clock, that's the time you need to get in. If you've got to walk the dog or you've got to, I don't know what else you might have to do, go to the post office or go and buy some milk, you need to be back here at 11 if you want one of those advent calendars this morning. And we're voting for which window we're going to open. And the reason you need to be here at 11 is because everyone in our office wants to buy one at 11. So they're going to go really quickly.
That's just after I finish, isn't it?
Yes,
So I could get...
You could log on and get one. Jennifer Taylor yesterday was like, I want one of those.
They're brilliant. The kids have one. Well, you know, they
Yeah,
have
you
theirs.
should have one.
Yeah.
The best thing I think about an advent calendar, or not the best thing, that's a bit OTT, but a nice thing about an advent calendar is when you forget and you go back and you're like, oh, I've got 3 or 4 windows to catch up on, and you can have a full-on feast with your cup of tea.
You've been away for the weekend and you come back. I'll stop at this point. The tail, you want to get a nice point into the tail. So, again, as before, you could draw... Before you stitched it, you could draw a nice deep point there to follow as you're sewing. That could make life easier.
Okay. Oh, I'm not sure who this one's from. We've got a vote for number 3. We're going to end up with loads and loads of numbers. I love it.
Can we just open an advent calendar completely then?
The whole no, yeah. we can't. I think that's part because we had a debate about whether we can open it, and I really think that spoils it a bit, doesn't it? Really,
it does.
The whole point is that it's a surprise. But we'll open one. I know you know what you get if you get chocolate. Our director Tim's saying if you get a chocolate advent calendar, you know what's inside. But,
true.
But that's the whole point of this. It's a bit different. You've got different things in there. We've got about 2 minutes left, so we're just stitching around to that gap in the tummy where you would stuff it.
Okay, so I get to this point, and then I think I can turn. And then I said before that I don't particularly clip with Shannon because it's not that necessary. With this, I would clip into that point there, just to free up the tail.
Just in there?
Yeah.
We'll just show you it. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, should I flip it over that way?
Yeah. So just clipped in there.
But just clip the upper body piece because there's a seam in the tummy piece.
Okay.
And then turn the right way out.
This is the pink milkshake whale kit, the one on your screen, WYGC77. So you get the darker pink and the lighter pink Shannon. So you could use that either way around. You get 2 fat quarters. So that's to make the pink whale. That's one of them sold out, did you say? The penguin, just about to sell out. So we've just got one. There's one there. If you do want it, you can check out your basket on that. Oh, this is the penguin bundle, just for that one lucky person that might be able to quickly get a penguin. There it is, penguin softie.
And then when I'd come to stuff this one, I'd start with the tail, the furthest bit to get to, and just push the filling into the tips of the tail. I'm a bit of an overstuffer, so I'll try and... You do want some... Often I'll stuff things and then feel...
does have to be, to get that, almost the buoyancy, it's sort of quite... to get that round shape, really, it does need to be quite well stuffed. I almost think as well, it's a bit of a test of how much do you trust your seams, because you've got to push up against them, haven't you, when you really...
You do, right to get the shape.
Yeah, and you really do have to go right...
There we go, it's one half of the tail.
Right into it.
But when I'm stuffing, I'll just pull the stuffing apart a bit just to make sure it's nice and fluffy before it goes in.
We've only got a couple of seconds left, Jo, so once you've stuffed it, is there anything else that you would... that we need to know just to make it, other than the eye, which you spoke about, you go through the hole in the tummy? Just
the eye, and then ladder stitch the opening in the tummy. It looks like surgery, doesn't it? Ladder stitch.
It's like...
I think it'll make it. Stitch, and I stitch from the front backwards. I just stitch from the front of the body. I don't know how to describe that, but when I close something,
yeah,
I close it in what feels like the natural direction, so front to back or top to bottom. And that's it, it's done. It's in there, finishing the whale. So everything is in your instructions, adding the eyes, finishing the whale. And we've done that whole thing in real time this morning. It's a really quick make. I'm shocked how speedy that one is. It's really quick. So you can make a whole collection of whales if you wanted to in quite quick time. Thanks, Jo. So you're back doing the Panda Pop Quilt, a twist on this one. I am. At 10 with K facets. So, well, I was going to say get your fingers ready to order an advent calendar at 11, but you've got the Panda Pop Quilt first. So we'll see you in a second. Thank you. So the whale kits this morning, we had that pink one, so the one that we've been working on. So I'll show that first of all. 2 fat quarters. And you've got your thread there, you've got your wadding and your instructions again. So everything you need there to make the whale. And the embroidery scheme as well for the eyes. $19.99. Then the grey and baby blue. So again, you've got your 2 fabrics. We're in single figures for the grey and blue. So that steely grey thread. You've got the lovely soft grey and baby blue Shannon fabric. Let me move that so you can see. Whale hello there. I like the little fun names that they do. And then you've also got the ocean blue and white. Oh, I've not seen it made up in this colourway. I'd quite like to see one of these if anybody does make one in this colour collection. And again, with that big bag of stuffing and everything you need to make a whale. 2 fat quarters, 2 different colours. FEGC 77.
Oh, lots in baskets on that one, so remember you do have to check it out. So the phone lines are back in action. If you were here earlier this morning, we had some trouble with the call centre, but they're ready to go. They're waiting at their phones, ready to pick them up. So 0800 112 4433. If you do want to order something on the phone, we're back in action there. So we've also got these Shannon bundles this morning. So we've got a 4-piece fat quarter bundle in Shannon. So you've got the soft pink that we've been working with. Maybe you're an avid toy maker. You want to add some of this to your stash, or you're making for, you need something snuggly, don't you, at this time of year? It's all getting a bit cold and dark. So you've got your red there. Then you've got your deep ocean blue and your grey as well. That is a nice snuggly one. Who was it that messaged in that was all snuggly? They were blanket check and they were coffee check and everything was there. You need some of this for a cuddly blanket. Then we've also got the a 6-way Shannon fat quarter bundle. So this is the pastel bundle. In this one, just quickly show you this, you've got your cream on the top, so a nice natural sort of milky colour. This is the first time we've done Shannon fat quarters. Then you've got your white, you've got that lovely soft baby blue, your lilac, a bright sunshine yellow, and the soft pink there as well. So this is the pastel Shannon bundle. Again, as I said, first time we've had fat quarter Shannon fat quarters. OOGC61 is for the 6-piece one. And this, the hemline advent calendar, the sewing kit advent calendar, with lots of different bits and pieces inside, is at 11. We're going to open one window just to reveal one example of a gift that's in there. Let us know what your favourite. Oh, we've had another vote for number 3. We've had a couple for 3 and a couple for 7. So they might be in the lead at the moment. So this is the one that's going to be on at 11 o'clock this morning. Make sure you've done all your jobs and you're ready back at your phones if you want an advent calendar at 11. Now, in the next hour, we've got lots of lovely Christmas stash building things. So rick, rack and ribbon, don't go anywhere. I'll see you in 3 minutes.
Join us on Facebook. Simply search for The Sewing Quarter and like our page for the latest news and more.
Tune in on Saturday the 28th of October as Lucy Brennan returns with some brand new Creative Grids rulers. If you liked her last selection, boy will you love the latest range, which will help you create awe-inspiring effects with ease. These time-saving tools are a must for any regular quilter, and coupled with Lucy's expertise, they'll help you take your skills to a whole new level. Join Lucy as she gets creative with the pineapple border, colour wheel and spider's web rulers, to name but a few. That's Saturday the 28th of October at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Follow us on Pinterest. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to discover sewing work we create and love.
Get cosy with a cuppa and an early mince pie this Saturday as we celebrate Christmas with Mandy Shaw. Mandy has the perfect collection of Christmas ideas that'll charm the whole family this festive season. From stockings and advent calendars to wreaths and decorations, Mandy has everything you could possibly need for a traditional celebration. So, join John Scott and Mandy Shaw for a fabulously festive morning, Saturday the 28th of October at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Follow us on Instagram. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to get our latest posts.
Jo Carter's menagerie just keeps growing, and now we have a new festive addition to her soft toy collection. Join us on Friday the 27th of October when Jo will show us how to make this adorable robin. As the nation's favourite bird, the robin brightens up our winter gardens with its red chest and cheerful song. Jo will bring this feathered festive friend to life using beautiful spray-time prints which give the appearance of plumage. Pellets in the base let you transform this soft toy into a doorstop or freestanding Christmas decoration that'll take more than a north wind to blow it off its perch. So join me, Amy Burrows and Jo Carter for an hour of festive fun on Friday the 27th of October at 9 a.m, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Follow us on Twitter for more inspiration, top tips, news, and share your own creations with us. When you spend £10 on your first purchase, you will receive this free sewing kit from the Sewing Quarter worth £14.99.
Good morning, welcome back. If you've just joined us, it's lovely to have you here at Sewing Quarter this morning. We've just made a whale with Jo Carter. She's back at 10 and we're doing the Panda Pop Quilt. So we've also got, well, no, she's back at 10 and at 11 we've got the Hemline Sewing Quarter Advent Calendar. So if you're going to get that time in your brains ready to check out your baskets on the Advent Calendar at 11 o'clock this morning. Now, we've shown some Shannon fabric this morning that we've been making that whale with. So it's a really lovely soft fabric. It's got a sort of a pile to it. So it almost has a velvety feel to it, and something slightly different to the cottons. And I'm sure those of you that watch regularly are familiar with the fact that we have solids and lots of different solids that we sell on the website in by the half metre or as fat quarters. And we've had some requests for the Shannon fabric as fat quarters as well. So maybe for people wanting to try to work with something a little bit different to the normal cottons, or just to have mix and match of colours. So you could make maybe little toys or little blankets or cushions with a mix and match of colours. So we've never done this before. This is a premiere this morning of single fat quarters in the Shannon fabric. So we've got all of these different colours and all of them are priced exactly the same. So should we go with, as it's a Christmas hour, we'll start with the red. Now, earlier when I opened one of these and I said, this isn't a fat quarter, it's too big, but it is a fat quarter. We've got bigger fat quarters with this fabric because it's cut, obviously it's a quarter of the fabric of a metre, and because it's a wider fabric you're actually getting more. So this is a larger fat quarter than you might expect perhaps with some of the designer cottons or with a fat quarter pack. So first of all we've got lovely snuggly Christmas and little cushions or something like that, but a lovely way to add a bit of texture to something. So for example, the stocking we made yesterday, the heel and toe of that, if you wanted to add something that had a little bit more of a soft feel to it, you could do that with a Shannon just to add a bit more texture. Just giving it a nice little stroke. There it is. You can see as I just sort of run my hands over it. Christmas hats. Yes, that's a good idea. With a little pom-pom on the top. But you can just see as I run my hand over it how it obviously does behave differently to a cotton. But it's a really lovely quality Shannon. So first of all, that's your red one. Let me just show you the size of that. You'll see what I mean in terms of, if you're familiar with the normal size of a fat quarter, because it's cut from a wider piece of fabric, you are getting a bit more. That's your red. Then next up, we have got pale pink. So you might have seen this with the whale this morning. This is what we use for the tummy of the whale. This is almost leans towards a white. It's a very, very soft pink, sort of a delicate pink actually. Maybe sort of a fairy sort of themed. But when lovely to make little Christmas decorations, or if it's a first Christmas, maybe you've got a new baby in the family, and it's lovely to have those and get them out every single year. I remember someone made you can make gingerbread decorations, can't you? That last, I think. I don't know if you seal them with something, or if they just, when you don't eat them and they've gone stale, they just remain really hard. But I remember I did I do panto at Christmas, and I remember one that I did, and we had the fairy made everybody a little gingerbread heart with a ribbon on it that you could hang on your tree, and I've still got mine at home. You keep it sort of year in, year out. Then we've got a darker pink, but this is a nice bright pink, so it's a really lovely sort of cuddly, soft fabric. You do really want to, it reminds me of a blanket, or it is really lovely. You sort of, on your skin, it is a really lovely, soft texture. You sort of want to give it a little snuggle. Really lovely, soft one. That's that bigger fat quarter. Do you know what? It was really cold in here this morning. I don't know what happened at 6 in the morning when we arrived. I think the heating maybe hadn't quite kicked in, and you just want something like that, nice and snuggly. So that's your darker pink. Then next up we've got, let's turn this over. Then we've got your bright yellow. This is a really lovely bright sunshine yellow. Nice for toys. This is where I need you. I guess you have to trust me, but you need to be able to feel this. If you could put your hand through your TV and give it a lovely sort of stroke, it's quite addictive actually. So this is the Shannon Solid Cuddle in lemon. what's nice about this fabric as well is where it catches the light, it sort of creates, it has light and dark sort of shade in it actually. It's kind of got, if you can just see, obviously depending on the nap as well, but it almost glimmers as it catches the light. Like Jo was saying as we were making the whale, if you've never worked with Shannon before and you have got reservations about using it and working with it, Jo was saying you don't need to change your foot, you don't need to change your needle, you can work with it as a cotton. The only thing is it does have a little bit, and not a lot, but just a tiny bit of give to it. So in some ways it's more forgiving. You can just see there it does have a little, and there are certain times when it calls to have a bit of stretch. You need a little bit of give. Then we've got the ocean blue. Again, your fat quarter. You do end up with a bit of fluff. Got some fluff on our desk now. That's it. It's a nice sort of a royal blue. But it is really lovely and squidgy and soft. Then next up we have got the soft blue. So this is a baby blue. This would be nice actually with the that really lovely soft pink, which does look very. I don't know what it looks like on your screens. If it looks white, it has got a pink tint to it. But you've got your blue and pinks. Actually, next to the blue, you can see that it's a bit more pinky. And if I put the white in, you can see that there is a difference. So that one on your screens is the baby blue. Then next up, I'll show you the white. These would be nice to mix and match. So you've got your white one there. Oh, you can make a cuddly snowman. That would be quite nice in the Shannon. Then we've got cream. So this is a natural sort of a sandy colour. That nice neutral if you want to team it with something else. And then you've also got your grey. Oh, we haven't got this one on its own. Oh, these have been mixed up from a bundle. So we haven't got the cream is in a bundle that we had in the hour before. If you do want to go back and look at those, there's a 6-piece fat quarter bundle. I think it was called, is it the pastel bundle that's in there? So if you do want the grey or the cream, those are in a bundle. So the first time we've been able to show you these Shannon fat quarters, you've got your white, really lovely to mix and match. I'll just fan those out so you've got one more little look to see how they work together. So there you've got your white, baby blue, baby pink, your lilac, your yellow, your bolder pink, your red, and your ocean blue. So you've got that whole. I'm just going to stand here and give this a little stroke. All of those $4.95. Okay, so I'll pop those there. Should we? Oh, just quickly, I remember we've had people asking about the advent calendar. We can see it on the little rack here in the screen. I'll bring it in so you can see for a second. We're launching this at 11 o'clock this morning. That's the time you need to be here if you want an advent calendar. This is from Hemline, so it's a brand that we have lots of products from. So it's something that you might already be familiar with. Maybe you've got scissors or cottons and threads and pins and things from Hemline previously. But this is something that we're launching today. If you want a little treat for yourself, I mean, lovely as a gift for someone, perhaps if you go to sewing classes or workshops and you've got a friend who's also a keen sewist, but I think this is a buy for yourself, isn't it? This is one that you want to keep. Let me just, oh, this one's taped up. Can we open this one? Or we'll get the one that's already open. I'll show you in a second. But you've got all of your windows in there, so 1 to 24. We are going to open one little lucky number. Oh, I've got one here I can open. Thank you, Jay. Let me show you this one. Here it is. All of those windows to open up. Message in your number. We've had lots of suggestions for the one window that we're going to open. Number 3 and number 7, apparently, I'm being told, are in the lead at the moment. But let me know if you've got a lucky number, which one we're going to do. So after that last break, after Jo's Panda Pop Quilt, 11 o'clock, that's the special time to be here for an advent calendar. So let's have a look at this book that we've got in this hour this morning. This is another premiere, so this is a brand new book that we've never had on before, so something we're launching this morning. And also it's an area we've not touched on that much. This is a cross-stitch book, and I know that this is something that some of you really, really love and are passionate about, and it isn't something we've done a lot of here at Sewing Quarter. So we've listened, we've got a new cross-stitch book this morning. And in keeping with the Christmas theme and with the whole Christmas decorations and everything we've got going on in the studio, this one here is 50 Christmas designs. Let me just hold that down so it doesn't reflect. I don't want to blind anybody. But you just can see this incorporating cross-stitch into some little projects. So whether they're framed or whether they're little gift bags or little miniature cushions. And inside, as we open this and go through, you can see here this is specialising in cross-stitch. So at the beginning, it talks to you about understanding how these different grids are going to work and what you need to do. It's got your finishing techniques, and it's got how to determine what the finished size of the cross-stitch is going to be. And then it also gives you ideas of how to incorporate these cross-stitches into useful projects. So you've got a photo album here, for example, or embellishing a garment. Should we try and lift it up? I don't know. It's quite bright, isn't it? But then you can see here some examples, little tree decorations. And then as we turn over, we get into the designs. So you can see here you've got candles, we've got an angel, you've got a little cat. With the Merry Christmas on there. And all of these come with a grid, so explaining which stitches go where. That little cat with a hat on. But there's 50 different designs in here, so we'll flick through and have a look. Then you've got the Christmas wreath. Some of these are a little bit more traditional, some of them are a bit more playful, so that penguin one there. You've obviously got that nice little bear with the word joy. And then you've got some more traditional angels and Christmas trees. But this is a book you could keep for years. I mean, we do know Christmas does come around every single year, so you can get this one back out and try different designs. And the first thing that sprung to mind for me was if you wanted to use these in the paper cards, you know, if you wanted the cards that have a frame built into the front, you could do a cross stitch and slip this in to the front panel. And what a lovely way to personalise a card, make it a little bit more special. So you've got your Father Christmases. What's this one here? Oh, a little Christmas house in the snow. I've never been on holiday for Christmas. I'm not sure how I feel about that, about being away in the sun. I think it'd be nice to go away maybe after Christmas and get a bit of sun. But I do like to be at home. You've got your Christmas, all your different Santas there. Loads of different designs. Teddy bears and snowmen. And as I said, talking you through which stitches go where, and also how many strands of floss you need. So, for example, if you just see here, just got to look at this breakdown a little bit more closely so you can see. But just indicating if you can just see the detail. So, for example, this little red tick here, and that corresponds to a certain type of stitch and a certain type of colour and floss in order for you to replicate exactly what you see here on the grid. So let's look at another one, for example, that yellow one here corresponding to the gold. I'll keep flicking through. More designs, Christmas trees, more snowmen. But quite often in a book, you might get one or two Christmas designs. It might be a general cross-stitch book, or it might be with all of the books, actually. They quite often maybe will give you one little project. So the Fat Quarter book yesterday had one stocking design in it. But this is specifically for Christmas. And for £6.95, so the sort of thing, as I say, you can get out year in, year out. Those are all the different designs you can see there. So you can make a whole collection of cards with all different designs. And we're only halfway through. There are lots more. There's lots of cats. The author of this one is obviously a cat fanatic. Christmas cats. I do like the ones as well that have got a little bit of sort of text around them too. Greetings and... Oh, I like that one. That's pretty. And that one, actually. And also, these would look different if you didn't follow exactly the colours and you experimented a little bit. You could play around. That one doesn't even necessarily have to be Christmas, actually, does it? You could. Oh no, there is a Christmas tree there. I'll take that back. But lots of designs, lots of ideas and inspiration. Maybe you've got a cross stitch that you get out every year and you do for your Christmas cards or for little ornaments for your tree, and you want some different ones. And at the back here again, it's showing you how to incorporate them, so you can incorporate them into a pillow. You could incorporate it into a gift bag. Oh, a gift bag's a nice idea. So all your little presents that you make, you could deliver in bags with a cross stitch on the front. An ornament as well, so that's for hanging on the tree. But £6.95, OBMZ86, all of those different designs in the book. You asked for cross stitch. We've got some cross stitch for you this morning. Something a little bit different, that brand new Premiere book. It's actually called Fast and Festive, so they're nice quick designs too, ones that you can, if you wanted to make lots, if you've got lots of people to send cards to, then it's a quick way of getting some nice personalised cards. So we've done our Shannons, we've done the new Christmas book. We've also got, well, can I do the pincushion? We're going to do the fabric first. It's just because this is one of my favourite things ever. I'll show you that in a sec. So we've got two different fabric bundles in this hour. First of all, we've got an icy bundle. So this is really soft baby blues and greys and whites. So these are all Macawa. These are all 100% cotton, and these are all half metres. So you get 2.5 metres of in total. So these are pre-cut bundles that we put together. So we've got people looking at the colours, how they mix and match. So perhaps if you're not confident linking colours, this is a great way of us taking that job out of it for you, and they've already been mixed and matched together. So first of all, we've got the soft baby blue. That's a spot on. This is going to be really bright. You've got the optical white there. Then you've got your crosshatch linear look in the grey. It is icy, isn't it, when it's teamed with the blue and white? Then you've got a spot on grey. And then at the bottom there, you've got a steely blue. So as a whole collection, I'll just show you those. You can just see how the 5 work together. 2.5 metres, £20.95 for that blue and grey collection there. And also you've got your white in there, which you always need. You never have too much white in your stash. Let's have a quick look. It's a useful collection, actually, the colours there, because you can use those throughout. You know, you might use one of those for Christmas, and that almost looks like snow, the spot on. Then we've got one other fabric bundle as well in this hour. This is the traditional Christmas feel. These are all the linear look fabrics. So if you haven't seen these before, I'll open mine out so you can see a bit more clearly. So you're getting 3.5 metres. So you've got your red. And if we look more closely, you can see it just gives it a little bit more texture, a little bit more depth. It's got those lines, crosses and lines all across the fabric. Almost looks a bit like a gauze or something, doesn't it? But great to blend in, you know, with things if you wanted to. You could use it for backing or for binding. Then you've got your cream. I'll just open these out so you can see the 3. And your green as well. Actually, this is a nice fabric if you were doing something, making some sort of Christmas tree, because it almost looks like twigs or little, you know, sort of, what are they called? Fir? No. What are they called? The pines on the Christmas tree. My mind went completely blank. But they do go, needles, that's the word I'm looking for. What a sewing channel when I forgot the word needles. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah, they do end up all over the floor. I think by New Year, you're ready to get, if you've got a real tree, permanently. And also when there's no presents under there anymore to disguise the needles all over your floor, then you really can see it if you've got them on the carpet. But those are your 3 colours there. You've got your red, your green and your cream. Oh, director team, just how many people really buy real Christmas trees anymore? I think most people do. We always have a real Christmas tree. I love a real Christmas tree. I like the smell of it. But I just think, and people go, don't they, and go and queue up, order your tree. I think Well, you always see, don't you, in films in New York, the people that sell them on the streets, and it must be absolutely freezing, the temperature there at that time of year. But no, maybe most people do have a fake one now. I don't know. I'm not sure. What's your opinion on that? Do you go for a real Christmas tree? I think that's part of Christmas. You've got to have that smell when you walk in the house. I forgive the needles. You can have those all over the floor. I don't mind. So now we've also got the magnetic pincushion. So I can show you this one now. This is one of my favourite little gadgets. And the reason it's one of my favourites is also because it's really good value. This is something that you can just have next to your machine. It's a nice strong magnet. At $4.45, I think that's a really lovely treat to yourself or even as a gift. I'm going to take those off just so I can show you. I'm just going to be careful of my fingers there. But it's a strong magnet. As you see, I can just drop those on and they all stick onto that magnet. Producer Paul bought one of these for his mum for Christmas. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. I've got one in the dressing room. You can use it for hair grips. It's quite good for that, or for safety pins. But it's a very useful present. It might look a little bit basic and you think, oh, look, that's how strong the magnet is. But this is the good trick. Oh, Hannah's mum's got one as well. They go, her and her neighbour both got one. They go to the same sewing group and they both have these magnetic pin cushions. But they're great. You can pop them in your bag if you wanted to take pins somewhere, if you need to take pins with you. But I think the great thing is to have it next to your sewing machine, and you can almost, I don't want to say throw the pin, but you can just aim it towards the magnet and it will attract it. You can see here as I pull them up. Here we go. I love this demo. Here we go. Picks them all up. Really easy. It's such a simple gadget. $4.45. Just throw the. That's what I mean about sort of heading them towards it. Let's move those there. Oh, producer Hannah's saying if you do table gifts, we don't normally do table gifts. That's when you have a little present, don't you, on your placemat. Oh, the Hannah said they do because they've already opened all the presents by lunchtime. See, we do actually save most of our presents till after lunch, which when you're a child, that used to be the worst thing ever. I'd sit through Christmas lunch and I was like, I'm not interested in the turkey. I just want to open the presents. But now it's quite nice because you feel like the day goes on. It goes on a bit longer, doesn't it? You've got the presents to look forward to afterwards. You have your crackers as well. Some people make their own crackers and put little gifts in there. I'm not sure that this would fit in a cracker, but we've got you could put nice little bits and pieces in it. And go like this. Oh, Director Timmy, you also want the open your presents after lunch team. Yeah, he is. Oh, you can open one in the morning and the rest after lunch. And what? No? Everyone on camera's like shaking their head. Morning. It's all about morning. No, I think it's good to wait. Build it up. You've waited however many months as the presents. I think see what happens. I'll tell you what, we've opened up a few debates this morning, haven't we? Real Christmas trees or not? Presents before lunchtime or after? I love as well that everyone's Christmas routine is completely different. You all have your own thing, don't you? So, I'm not going to ask. Do you watch the Queen's speech? No, probably not. Watching a film normally. So there we go. That's our pincushion there. $4.45. XCPH79. So, fat quarter bundle. We've also got this one, one of our solid fat quarter bundles, but using lots of colours that are great for Christmas because it's got reds and greens in here. Well, lots of different shades of green. These aren't from Macauer. These are So Easy fat quarters. But you've got how many colours in there? 8 different colours. So 8 different solids. You've got that deep maroon at the bottom, your poppy red, forest green, a bright green, more of a pistachio green there. You've got your grey, your ecru and your cream. As I said, pistachio, that reminded me of the Les Miserables cake that they made on the Great British Bake Off, and they had a layer just like that, didn't they? The pistachio layer of sponge. And it looked like that. It had to be, I can't remember how many layers it was, but they all had to be exactly even, just like a fat quarter bundle. LFGQ30, $8.95. And fat quarters always look like little presents, don't they? How they're wrapped up with their ribbons on them. So, we've got a message in. Let's have a look. Oh, it's an email. Who is that one from, Hannah? From Amy. Morning, Amy. Good name. Oh, we've got a photo. Let's have a look. What have you made? Amy is watching this morning whilst finishing her hand binding on a quilt. So let's show us the quilt when you finished it. Oh, very nice. Let's have a look at those colours. So you've got your greys. I love grey with yellow. I think that's a very classic colour combination. Lucy Brennan's done a nice quilt like that too, actually. So hand binding. Send in a snap when you finish that, if you finish that job this morning. If you're going to hang on all morning, I don't know how much binding you've got to do. How big's your quilt? Oh, we had a PS on that message. What was it? Oh, advent calendar. 11 o'clock. That's the time the advent calendar will be. And if you want one, everyone's going to be there ready to go at 11. Now, rickrack. I tell you what, we're always surprised how much you love rickrack because you can use it for so many things. And the lovely thing about the rickrack we have here at Sewing Quarter is how much you get. Honestly, this is enough to have in your stash for what I would imagine would be a really long time. And at Christmas, there's always a use for this, whether it's to create bunting to decorate the house, whether you want to use it to hang up Christmas cards. You can use it for lots of different things. Even for wrapping if you wanted to. It's a bit of a twist on ribbon. So, here we go. If you don't know what rickrack is, this is a sort of an edging that you can use to add onto things. So you could add it onto clothes, even if you wanted to, or onto cushions and bags. But this rickrack trim, you get 25 metres. That's why it's so popular. So maybe if you're making something for a Christmas fete or a little... Oh, yes, that's a nice idea. You could tie it around, if you make little, maybe if you give hampers or you make little Christmas chutneys or jams, you could tie that round the top. Let me open a little bit. But 25 metres. Let me open it so you can see. But you could put rickrack on, you can rickrack everything, the whole house if you wanted to. I'm just going to open this so you can see. Here we go. So this is what it looks like, all wrapped around. Put it on the tree if you wanted to. It's very versatile, lots of things you could do with that. But loads of it, lots and lots. Just adding that little wave, that little bit of something else. It's kind of a finishing touch, isn't it? Adding a little bit of zhuzh. You know, sometimes you finish something and you think, there's just something missing, I'm not quite sure. And actually, I'm just going to show you it on a fabric, actually. You get more of the impression. But if you wanted to frame something, then you could put that on there all the way around if you wanted to trim it. This is from the textured fabric bundle. But you can just see how it just adds something. This is that whole bundle. All the way along. And you've got your red as well. "25 metres. I'm not going to unwrap the whole thing because I don't know if we'd even fit that in the studio. So the red, I imagine that will be quite a traditional colour this morning, quite a popular choice because obviously with Christmas coming up. So you've got that red there. You've also got a slightly different red, and I'm going to hold these side by side just so you can see the colour difference. This is what I would call a poppy red or a postbox red. It's a bright, bold one. This is a slightly more muted tone, almost leaning towards maybe a burgundy. But if you see those together, you can see the difference. It's called Wine. That's the name of the graphic. Oh, so it is. We can kind of make it Christmas related because it's wine. But you can see there the difference in colours. I'm actually in the pack. This is how they arrive in the packet. But just to see that colour difference. But all wound around that plastic sheet that you could just pop in your stash. And I think it's the sort of thing, if you've got it there, you might discover that there are more and more things you could use it and incorporate it with. Just got it. It's one of those things to have on the side ready to go. So this is the Wine on its own. Let's get it the right way up. Again, 25 metres. Perhaps a more grown-up Christmas colour, or if you're using it maybe with less of the cartoony fabrics and maybe something a bit more traditional, or maybe with more of a forest green, something a bit darker. Almost like if you see it there with those maroony colours. Now we've also got white. Now this is for snow or ice or icicles. You could use things like that. If you want little angels. But you could use it in Christmas wreaths. I think it's perfect for hanging up Christmas cards. That's very bright, so we won't keep that there too long. Don't want to blind you. 25 metres of that. YMGQ 95. That's the white one there. And then we've also got this deep forest green. So this is a darker green, actually very similar to the top. See, look, you could put it on clothes as well. If you wanted to just trim something, pop that all the way around. I could probably cover my whole self in rickrack. You know the mummy game that you play with little children at parties with toilet roll, and you wrap someone up like a mummy? Maybe we should wrap me up in rickrack. FXGQ68. Does anybody in here want to be wrapped in rickrack? Jay? He's shaking his head at me. Our floor manager's like, no, not today. But I reckon we could cover someone in rickrack. Not today, maybe tomorrow. What do you reckon, Jay? I'm getting evils from behind the camera. No, doesn't fancy that. Oh, that's why, because he's the one that's had to put it all away. He'd have to wrap it all back up again. That's the real reason. Okay. Pom-poms. So more decorations, more embellishments and things that you could add. The red one I'll start with first of all. Where's the end? Again, these are a nice way of just adding a little bit of texture. Look at that. They look like little baubles, don't they? So it is really perfectly timed for Christmas. And just add a little bit of movement and. But let's have a look around the edge of some fabric. Actually, let's pop it with the. Actually, with the icy one, I'd look at the white. So we've got this in different colourways. We've got it in green, red, and white. But with the ice bundle, look at the white. And just trim something with it like that. They look like little snowballs. So this one you get 2 metres, and it comes on a nice little wooden spool as well, actually. I don't know if you can see that there. But you get to keep that. I think that's quite decorative. People make things out of those as well, actually. I've seen people collecting their wooden spools. So you've got your white one, you've got your red one. You could have them all lined up, the wooden ones all on the window ledge. And then you've got a bright green, so this is a really bold, almost a lime green. You can just sew those onto anything and everything. And again, you could even wrap in that if you wanted to. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it, actually? Round a gift box. I'm trying to imagine what that would look like as a big bow. I love wrapping. That's one of my favourite things about Christmas. I'm happy to wrap as long as they're not presents that I'm not meant to see, I'm quite happy to wrap other people's presents. And I like to go to town. We go for ribbons. We go get the scissors out and curl all the ribbon and bows and everything. I don't just go for paper. Oh, whereas producer Hannah's saying she paid her housemate to wrap her presents. Why do you not like it? What's that all about? She said she finds it boring. Oh. She said she'll buy me things if I do the wrap. Oh, you can buy me things to do your wrapping. I honestly love wrapping. If I wasn't doing this, maybe I could get a job in a department store in the wrapping team. Then we've got ribbons. Lots and lots of ribbons. So I'll start first of all with our glittery ribbon. So we've got silver first of all. And again, present wrapping, first thing that springs to mind. So that's the silver. And have we got this in 2 thicknesses, or is this the same? No, it's the same. So you get 20 metres in that glittery silver. And actually, I'm just going to emphasise with this, sometimes I think I'm reluctant. I've seen ribbons or even boxes and wrapping paper before where the glitter comes off. I don't know if you can see my fingers there. But this isn't a glitter that molts, and I'm not keen on those ones that end up all over your fingers and all over the floor. You know, when you take the lid off the gift boxes with glitter on. So this is, it doesn't end up all over you. My fingers are completely clean. So that's the silver one. Then we've also got some gold. Oh, we've got the gold in the same thickness. I'm going to start with that. It's taped up. Can we undo it? Here we go. This is the skinnier gold ribbon. I'm attached to the sellotape. Oh, there it is. Okay. So again, this is the 2 centimetre width gold ribbon. We have got this in varying widths this morning, so just to clarify what one that is. Nice sheen. Oh, we've had a message in from Claudia. Morning, Claudia. Morning, everyone. We celebrate Christmas Eve, early dinner with table gifts, carol singing and presents, then just relaxing together. Oh, I want to come to you for Christmas Eve. That sounds lovely. Actually, it's a tradition, I think. My friend, her mum is German, and they open all of their presents on Christmas Eve. I think that's a tradition. I think that is a German tradition that everybody does. And also, we had a message from Linda. Morning, Linda. I've just tuned in. Has the advent calendar sold? No, you're in time. 11 o'clock. So if you're not sure, if you don't know what Linda's talking about, we've got a sewing quarter advent calendar, or a sewing kit advent calendar. So all of those little windows behind all of those, inside is a sewing gift, so something sewing related, and we're not going to give away the game of what's inside because we don't want to spoil it. But after that 11 o'clock break, dead on 11, we'll be back here selling those. If you want that, Linda, then that's the time to tune in. We've got a debate going on. We're going to open one window. 7 and 3, they're the numbers in the lead at the moment of what window we're going to open. So we have the gold and the silver ribbon in 2 centimetre diameter. Then we've also got it in thicker widths as well. So let me just try. I've got the gold one here. We seem to have doubles of some of these. I'm going to move those ones to the side. So this is a slightly thicker one. Again in the gold, and again not molting, not ending up all over your fingers. Nice and clear. Do you know the thing as well I find with the wrapping paper that's got gold or glitter on it? It's really hard to get it to stick. Sometimes you put the sellotape on and the whole thing pops open again. That's very annoying. This one is 2.5 centimetres, so the difference in width. Is that only 0.5 centimetre bigger? It looks a bit bigger than that to me. But you can just see the difference there in the 2 and the 2.5. So that's the lame ribbon from Beresford's in gold. Then we've also got a silver ribbon. I need a... Take the plastic off. So this is a satin finish ribbon, again from Beresford's. Is this yes, this is a double-faced satin ribbon. So both sides you've got that nice sheen in the silvery grey. Let's look at that with the ice bundle, actually. Goes really beautifully with those sort of pale blues, and you've got the steely grey and the spot-on grey as well. There's a little team. I was going to say trio, but there's more than 3 things there. And actually, the silver ribbon, I'm going to put that on there as well. That's the lame glittery silver ribbon. And then that one there is the Beresford's double-faced satin. Now, we've also got another grey ribbon, so I'll just keep that one there to show you. This one has got a stitch detail on it. The good thing I've got nails this morning, trying to get the plastic off. Here we go. Okay. This has got quite a traditional feel to it. Almost like a vintagey feel with that stitch. So there's that grey one. Then we've also got some gingham red ribbons. 3 different widths. So let's just see those first of all, so you can see. Let me stack those up in the right order. The difference in sizes. Have we got these on our Christmas tree? Yes, look. You can just see all over all the little bows on here that we've just tied on, just simply done with ribbon. In that gingham ribbon. Producer Hannah, did you just say we'll go widest to largest with the sizes of the ribbons? Is that not the same thing? We mean widest to smallest? Okay, we'll start again. We'll start with the widest ribbon. Okay. So this one here is but all of these are just a gingham cream and that bright poppy red. This one is 2.5 centimetres, and you get 3 metres on this reel of ribbon. Now, in comparison, you've then got the slightly smaller size. If we can get this open. Let me just show you it like this. Can't get my finger underneath the sellotape. That's a slightly narrower one. That would be nice for a traditional wrapping, perhaps if you're using brown paper. And have that on there. That's quite a classy, smart way of wrapping, isn't it? That one is 1.5 centimetres in width. And finally, you've got a much finer ribbon there. This one is, this is 7 millimetres, so just, just over half a centimetre, and you get 5 metres on this reel of ribbon. Should we see that ribbon with the this Christmas bundle? You've got the, I'll lay a couple of those out. We've got the narrower one. Oh, I can't get my finger in there. Come on. Here it is. You can just see what that looks like. And actually, because of the crosshatch detail in the fabric, which has almost got a boxy effect, it's almost like graph paper. It reflects that. I think it would be nicest with that cream there, if I remove the green and red. So the texture Christmas bundle is 1.5 metres of fabric. You get the cream, you get the red, and you get the green as well. Oh, we've had a photo sent in. Who was this one from? I love it when you send pictures. From Alison. Lovely. Thank you, Alison. Let's have a look at this. What have we got? Oh, mushroom. This is the wine-coloured rickrack that we just showed. And pom-poms as well. Is it pom-poms on there, or are they... It's all rickrack. Oh, wow. Little mushroom cushions. Those are lovely. So you made them as Christmas gifts. Oh, they're great. Thanks, Alison. Let's show that wine rickrack. This is the one that has been used there. That's exactly what we were saying about. It's a little bit smarter than the poppy red one. Also very excited about the Advent calendar. Everyone is excited about the Advent calendar this morning, including everyone here in our office, everyone upstairs, the buyers, and we've got the designers are excited about it. We're excited about it. 11 o'clock is the time the Advent calendar will be revealed. So that's the one that Alison has used on those cushions. Thanks for sending that in. Great work with the little mushroom cushions. Let's have a look now at some more ribbon stacks. So these ones come, these are really good value actually. You get 5 ribbons in the bundle, so you're getting 5 different designs. First up, well, let's see it all as a collection so you get an idea of what's going on there first of all. So you've got those 5 different ribbons. This one upside down. Here it is. And another one's upside down. Let me turn them over. Here we go. That's our 5 different ribbons in reds and greens and creams. This is the Twill ribbon set. Whereas the other one that we have is using satin ribbons. But you've got the snowflakes on red. 4 metres of each of these. Then you've got Merry Christmas. I like that one. Don't open until the 25th of December. Unless you are, was it Claudia from Surrey who opens them on Christmas Eve? Then it needs to say the 24th. Then we've got our green. Less than £2.50 per reel, and you're getting 4 metres on each of those, so great value. And Merry Christmas there as well. And these are a slightly thicker ribbon. If you can just see, it has got some texture to it and some thickness, more so than some of the others. Let's wrap that back around. £10.95, that's your first bundle. Then we've also got a satin bundle. So this one here, oh, the holly and the ivy, I like that. Let's see it as a whole first of all, so you can see. Oh, have I got one upside down again? Yep. There it is. Now this one also includes those lame ribbons, so at the bottom, you'll just see here peeking through, you've got the gold and silver that we showed on their own earlier. I'll get to those in a second. This one is less than £1.50 per reel, and also these are 5 metres on each reel. So if you're doing loads and loads of Christmas makes in terms of value, this is really great value. The holly and the ivy on that top one. Then we've got Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Then you've got a solid red. We used this yesterday on the stocking, actually. We just crossed it over like this and added a button, so it sort of acted as a hook so you could hang the stocking up. And then you've got those lame ribbons in the gold and silver that don't molt, so you don't end up with glitter all over your table and all over your fingers. Silver and the gold. That's really good value. $7.95. WMFZ 15. Now, also this morning, we're back in action now. We did have a problem with the call centre, so remember now you can ring 0800 112 4433. Obviously, you can always order on the website, but we did have some issues there this morning, technical problems, and we're all back up and running. We're ready to go. Now, the hangers, I don't know if you can see the quilt behind me. Every day we have different quilts hanging on the walls, and those hangers that you can see there, we actually sell. So they're 2 wooden hangers. It's a really, really simple mechanism, and we know you don't necessarily want to damage your quilt when you hang it up. So if you've spent a lot of time making something, and obviously you've spent perhaps a lot of money on the fabrics and everything, and a lot of time and effort and energy, the great thing about these, and it's an heirloom piece even, is that the mechanism in here is that it has a marble. So what you do is you pop the quilt into the gap, into the slot, and the marble rolls up. And then as you drop it down, the marble drops and it holds the quilt into place. So then you can just remove it by lifting it and taking it through. I don't know if I can see here. But it just slots in and holds the quilts up. And on the back, it just acts on a normal screw or a hook that you could just pop on the wall. So a really lovely way to display your quilt if you don't want to hang it on the bed or over the back of the sofa. And quite often, you want to look at it. If you've chosen fabrics that maybe work really well with the room that you want to hang it in, you want to display it, and they do look different when they're hung up as well. You can really see, you can step back and look at the whole overall picture or the pattern, and you can admire and appreciate the craftsmanship that's gone into it. So those 2 wooden hooks. And we hang all manner of sizes of quilts as well with that as well. Some of them really, really big ones. It does take the weight of them. You wouldn't think those 2 little wooden brackets would. So some people hang with a pole. You know, they put a sleeve in the back and a pole. But this one here enables you to. Sometimes if you don't want to do that and you don't want to actually have something attached to the quilt, you've got the option there if you want to take it off the wall and then transfer it onto the bed or something. Then you can, and you've not damaged it, and you've not still got the sort of the remnants of where you might have attached a pole. You get 2 pieces. Lots of people multi-buy these. So lots of people buying 2, so maybe you've got a couple of quilts to display. IYPH26. So, I'm just being told, we've been told, Natasha had these in the other day. She had them on the other day, and it took a number of months to get these back in stock. So we don't have nearly as much stock as we did have when Natasha had it on the other day. So because it is a very popular product, and we don't know how long it will be, we will reorder them because they're very useful products, and we use them. Well, we do need to reorder them because we use them all the time here. But if you do want those, and it does take a little while for us to get them back in stock, $10.95 IYPH26. Who made this quilt? I can't remember. Lucy. Eat, play, sleep, repeat. That sounds about right. So the ice bundle we've had this morning. This is a 5-piece bundle, so 5 half-metre cuts. And also, if you multi-buy bundles here at Sewing Quarter, if you bought 2 of these, you would get 2 half-metres of each fabric. So you wouldn't get 1 whole metre attached together. It would have been cut into 2 half-metre pieces. I'll open one of those to give you an idea of what you're getting. So spot on baby blue. There we go, that's soft blue. And in terms of Christmas, I think we can call that snowy if you wanted to. Then you've got white, that bright white, just a solid there. I won't hold that one up because it is very bright, you might hurt your eyes. Then we've got the crosshatch on grey. So that's a linear texture fabric. All of these have a little bit more depth to them, something a bit more interesting than just a plain. Oh, I love the film The Snowman. Such a good film. Then you've got the soft grey spot on. And you've got the soft blue as well. as a collection of 5. Let me just lift that one back up. PNGC 54. Okay. Have we got the fat quarter? Oh, this fat quarter bundle. But we wanted to look, have we got the Shannon? Are we going to quickly show that? So we've got the fat quarter, 8-piece fat quarter bundle. You've got maroon on the bottom, or a port colour, a nice rich colour. These aren't Makawa, so these aren't the same make as the brand that you've just seen in the half-metre bundle. These are from So Easy. Then you've got the red. You've got a dark green. You've got the bright green, pistachio green, charcoal grey, and a crew type colour there, and your cream. That wine rickrack, really lovely with that maroon colour on the bottom there. If you wanted to mix and match those. For £8.95, really great value for 8 pieces in that fat quarter bundle. LFGQ 30. Now, what else have we got here? Oh, the metallic threads. We've got a conveyor belt system going on here. So we've got different products coming in, and I feel like I'm at the supermarket. It's all going past me. So we've got the Madeira metallic threads, and these have got real silver in them. So they've got a really lovely sheen. They catch the light. They've got a bit of glamour, really. They can be used in your machine, but you will need a different needle for that. So this is a traditional metallic thread. So it's containing pure silver. You get that really lovely, rich and elegant sheen. It's a nice way to add a little bit of sparkle to maybe a cushion or a bag or Christmas decorations or an advent calendar, Christmas bunting, free motion embroidery even. So you've got, is it 3 golds? Yes, that's obviously going to be the most popular. You've got 3 different shades of gold. You've got silver. You've got a bronzy copper. Then you've got your red, your blue, and your green. And how much thread is on there? 200 metres, so 8 reels of 200 metres. 1,600 metres of thread. Tilly Rose loves these metallic threads, adding a little bit of something sparkly. And then the last thing we've got here is we've got a little combination of gold. So perhaps if you want to have something a little bit more maybe mature or more, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of quite regal, actually, these colours. So this here, we've got 3 folded up there, but you get 3 sheets of felt. So these are these 60 centimetre? Yes, 60 centimetre. I'm trying to remember in my head, it's right there on the screen. 3 sheets of 60 centimetre, lovely bright yellow, sort of golden yellow felt. So these are great as well if you want to do projects with children. Felt obviously it behaves itself. It's quite easy to work with. Maybe if you're making little stars for the tree or little crowns, maybe. And then we've also got some gold fabric. Oh, this looks really expensive. It's a linen texture fabric. So it's just got that nice sheen to it. Oh, let's look at that with the, this isn't actually linen, this is a cotton. But with those metallic threads, you can just see those different shades of gold picking out it sort of makes it ping a bit. So it might be a good base to add something a bit sparkly to. This is from Makawa. So it's being sold by the half metre. It's cut off the bolt. You can have as much or as little as you like. So the lovely thing about Sewing Quarter is we have the ability we get loads and loads of fabric on the bolt and we can cut it in half metre increments. So if you want to order 5 metres of fabric, you can. If you want to order a metre, you can. So we've got the freedom to do that because we have our own warehouse and we have all of those fabrics there. Now, the premiere book that we launched in this hour, this is a cross-stitch book. Half the stock of this one has gone already, so £6.95, really good value. We don't bring a lot of cross-stitch to air, and we have had requests for it, so I'm just going to show a couple of the different designs. But 50 different designs for £6.95. You can incorporate these into Christmas ornaments, into cards, into gift bags. And this is a book you could get out year in, year out. So less than 15p per design if you work it out by those little pictures. But you've got traditional candles, you've got angels and Christmas cats and Father Christmases. I think cross-stitch is a nice therapeutic. You can just sort of sit, have it on your lap, take it on the go with you. My friend Sophie loves cross-stitching. She's always got one in her bag, takes it with her. I think she does it on the train, actually. But you get the little grid there, the little indication of exactly what each stitch is, what colour thread you should use in order to replicate the exact design. I'll just flick ahead to the middle page so you can see the overall selection of designs that are in this book. But over half the stock of this one has been checked out. So there are lots of people who are loving their cross stitch. Lots of different designs in there. And at the back as well, just details on how to finish it off, how to incorporate it into a pillow, into an ornament, into a gift bag. So loads of different inspirational ideas. I know I keep talking about it, but we are getting so many questions about this advent calendar. We put it on social media, a little video, a little teaser earlier on in the week, and this is on at 11 o'clock. We've got a sewing kit advent calendar this morning. So if you want to treat yourself to something, let's just tilt that so you can see it. If you want to treat yourself to something where you're going to have a lovely little present, a little something to make you smile in that countdown to Christmas, sometimes you just need that little uplift, don't you? Little something to make you happy in the mornings. But you've got loads of things that you're going to love in here. So I will go through this later, but it's a sewing kit advent calendar from Hemline. We're going to show a quick flash of what might be inside. So maybe there's, I don't want to give anything away, but maybe there are threads and pins and magnets and things, but we're not going to say too much. We're going to open one window at 11. So after that break, if you do want one of these, we know that this is going to absolutely fly out this morning. Everyone in the office is waiting on their phones at 11 to order one. They're not allowed to get in any earlier than you, so the same rules apply. 11 o'clock, the advent calendar. Lots of people asking if we've already done it so far, and we haven't, so stay tuned. But the Panda Pop Quilt is on next. At 10 o'clock, Jo Carter is joining us again. We've got a new colourway on this. It's kind of an exotic theme from Kay Facet, so we're loving that this morning. If you haven't seen the Panda Pop Quilt, you're not going to want to miss it. Jo Carter and I are back here in 3 minutes, so you've got time to run and do something and get back. See you in a sec.
Follow us on Twitter for more inspiration, top tips, news, and share your own creations with us.
Get cosy with a cuppa and an early mince pie this Saturday as we celebrate Christmas with Mandy Shaw. Mandy has the perfect collection of Christmas ideas that'll charm the whole family this festive season. From stockings and advent calendars to wreaths and decorations, Mandy has everything you could possibly need for a traditional celebration. So, join John Scott and Mandy Shaw for a fabulously festive morning, Saturday the 28th of October at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Taylor and I'm going to be sharing with you 3 of my top tools. Okay, my first top tool has to be scissors. There are a pair of scissors for everything, every possible task you would need. One big tool is do not share your fabric scissors. They are yours, padlock them. And also my little snips, these are my favourite as well. My second top tool has to be pincushions. As you can see, I have quite a lot of them, but they all have different uses. So first of all is my wrist pincushions. This is easy when you're at your sewing machine. Second one is my other one that has my tacking threads attached to them. And my third one is my favourite. This is my magnetic pincushion. My third and final top tool has to be this. It's an unpicker. This is the most essential tool, to be honest, because you probably make more mistakes than you will do it right in the first place. But a lot of people don't know that the little red ball is actually a safety ball, so it stops you cutting your fabric as you unpick.
Follow us on Instagram. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to get our latest posts.
Tune in on Saturday the 28th of October as Lucy Brennan returns with some brand new Creative Grids rulers. If you liked her last selection, boy will you love the latest range, which will help you create awe-inspiring effects with ease. These time-saving tools are a must for any regular quilter, and coupled with Lucy's expertise, they'll help you take your skills to a whole new level. Join Lucy as she gets creative with the pineapple border, colour wheel and spider's web rulers, to name but a few. That's Saturday the 28th of October at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Follow us on Pinterest. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to discover sewing work we create and love.
Good morning, welcome back. We are doing the Panda Pop Quilt in this hour with Jo Carter. If you are waiting for the advent calendar, it's at 11, so we've got 1 hour to go. The countdown is on, the clock has started. The Sewing Kit advent calendar is on at 11 o'clock this morning. If you do want one of those, stay tuned and we're going to have those on very, very soon. So in this hour, we are doing the Panda Pop Quilt. You might have seen this before if you watch regularly, but this has got a twist on it today because we're doing it with a K-facet charm pack. So it's got quite an exotic, you'll see the one that Jo's making in a minute, and it does have a different feel to it and a different look. It's really, really lovely. Or maybe you've made one before and you want to do something a bit different. So this is what the quilt looks like. You get cheeky little pandas peeking through. Look at those. And this is in a different fabric collection today. So in these kits, you get your instructions using a charm pack to make the quilt. So it's that scallop detail there, that lovely sort of curved shape. And in these instructions, oh, here we go, you can see. Step by step. I love the little faces on the pandas. They've all got their own little bit of character. Talking you through all the technique and the template that you need there to create the panda shape. And the two different colourways we've got for this morning, I'll start first of all with the blue. This is the one that Jo's going to be making. So you get three different fabrics that you've got used for the backing for the main body of the quilt. So you get 2.5 meters of fabric in total. You've got the black and white, obviously, for the pandas. And then you've got the linear look fabric in teal. Then you also get your thread. You get the wadding, this great big bag of wadding. As with the toy stuffing, actually, in the whale one earlier, you got a nice amount of polyester wadding there. And then I'm just going to flick through the charm pack. This is a K-facet charm pack, and it just enables you, if you want a little bit of taster of K, maybe you've not had it before or you want to just try it, it's lovely because you get lots of different fabrics from the collection. So a charm pack is all about being able to try and look at the different designs that are offered within the designer's collection. So just looking at some of these. This is a 42-piece charm pack. And actually, until you actually see it made up, I wasn't sure how much, when you actually see it finished, producer Hannah's saying she loved Cave and she didn't know how this was going to look finished, and only when you see it you realise how well they do really work together. Just giving you a little taster of what's in there. You will see a bit more when Jo's making this one. But 42 different pieces in the charm pack. The wadding, the thread, you also get the embroidery skeins as well. And all of your instructions, so everything you need to make the quilt. We'll have a chat to Jo as well about the finished size of the quilt so you can see exactly what it is. Then we've also got this in a different colour option. So rather than the blue, we've got a red. All of them coming with your threads and your embroidery skeins. Again, your instructions. Black and white, we know what that's for, panda time. So you've got the black and whites there, and then this one is your cross-hatched linear look fabric in red. And then the charm pack, this is the star of the show. Let's have a look at some of these in the red. So you'll see mirrored designs that we just saw in the blue, but in some different colours. Different feel to it in those different colours. So that's called lipstick, the K for lipstick charm pack included in that, KKGC39. And we're doing the Panda Pop Quilt. Jo, we've got it on behind us. Look, this is what the finished Panda Pop Quilt looks like. People love this one, don't they?
They do. Yes, I think possibly it's the most popular design I've ever done. Really? Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Just that...
I don't know.
Put the cave on there just so we can start looking at it. What do you think it is that the pandas have that character and people just like them and it's a bit playful, or...
I think, I don't know, maybe it's because it's a really traditional patchwork, technique, doing clamshells, and it just adds something different to it. I don't know.
But a twist.
I did, much to Hannah's amusement, I did introduce myself once as Panda Pop, because it's...
Because you've done this, I'm the Panda Pop girl, that's me, and this is me. Where's the cave one? Let's have a look at it so we can see what it looks like, or what you've done so far. We just want to, just so you can see how those fabrics look together.
This is...
We've got Mrs. Panda in this morning. I love that.
So this is one I've started.
This is in the blue cave, so this is what it looks like. This is when you can see. It has a more, exotic is a good way to describe it, but I also think it's almost a little bit more grown up.
Yes. When the fabrics arrived, I'll be honest, I looked at it and thought, oh, I'm not sure that backing fabric works at all. And I wasn't
If it's going to clash or...
And then when I started, I didn't know whether it would just be too strong and you wouldn't get the definition. You know, the clams wouldn't stand out enough. But actually, once I started making it, in fact, I carried on and did more.
Just because...
And I had to stop because I didn't...
You'd have nothing to show.
No, I had nothing to demo.
We can't have Mrs. Panda pop on and not show how you actually do it. Let me turn it round so you're looking at it the right way. You've got it upside down on your screens there. That's using the Peacock Cave Facet Charm Pack. I don't know why we've not done it in cave before. We just haven't thought to.
We've done shade ones.
Oh, did we?
Before,
I didn't see that one.
Yes, this charm pack's new.
The Peacock and lipstick, they're different ones.
And this darker, sort of more striking background fabric as well is new.
And do you use, there's 42 pieces in the charm pack, do you use all of those?
I think, off the top of my head, I think there are 2 left over.
2. So you might squeeze a little something out of it
yes.
if you wanted to. And in terms of this, the complexity of the project, whereabouts does this sort of rank?
I think it looks more complicated than it is. I think it's a definite intermediate project.
Yeah, okay.
And I would say a confident beginner can attack anything.
Because the nice thing about this is that it is, rather than it being lots of different blocks, once you've mastered what the shape is, I imagine it's repetition.
It is. Once you get used to it, it's the same all the way along.
Just building it up and building it through. How did you think of this one?
Oh, I can't take the credit for the original idea. Somebody, well, the magazine editor said, could you do a clamshell quilt maybe with pandas?
Yeah.
And so it was born from there.
That's what I love is it's like they're peeking behind little bits of fabric, aren't they? And they're just peering around. You can design them with little faces. So how do you start with this one? Where do you normally begin?
You start with the cutting out. There's quite a bit of preparation before you get to the sewing part. So I'll prep the printed clams first.
Yeah.
So I've done most of them already, but I've saved 2.
So we can see.
But this is the template for the fabric for the clamshells. So
and the template's in your instructions, isn't it?
It's in the instructions.
Use that.
And it fits pretty much perfectly onto a charm square.
So this has been designed to utilise and maximise the charm pack, hasn't it? So rather than having loads of fabric left over and wastage, this is what it was made for that.
Yes. And a charm pack's perfect for it because you want that the contrast between print, sort of scale of print and colour and the volume of, because some will stand out. And you need some to stand out and some to
merge, but still not clash. That's the thing, isn't it? With a collection, the designs do all go together, so they work.
They do.
Whereas if you were going and trying to buy different fabrics that were all going to work, you might not get that overall sort of feel to it. And
you'd have to buy a lot as well to get to have enough different fabric in there to get the variety really and
the light and shade as well.
Yes.
So you draw around it. Does that include a seam allowance?
This one has the seam allowance. There's a template for the fabric, including the seam allowance, and this is you want to do these in card, so you could copy the template and then glue it onto some card and cut them out.
Okay.
We need a few of these. This is the finished size of the clam shell, but we need these to form the printed clams over, and actually they're really useful at the end. If you want to carry on and quilt, you can draw out the lines later on using one of these, because I've quilted the whole thing, that shape.
I don't know if we can see here, if we can just have a look. But what Jo means is that rather than just quilting around where you've done the pattern designs, continued that all the way up to the top. You just look at the top there. Can we manage to get there? There it is. So just carrying right up on that main body of the back fabric as well.
But they're used quite a bit, these cardboard ones as well.
Or you could use that plastic sheeting, template sheeting, couldn't you, if you wanted to?
You could.
Just cut around one of those.
So I've drawn these out. I'll trim these out.
I know there are loads of you that have made this quilt. Please send in some pictures. studio@sewingquarter.com. We'll show some on the show if we get some pictures sent in. We'd love to see the ones that you've already made.
One was sent in once with a little bit, a tiny baby on it. And it actually brought a tear to my eye.
Oh, really?
While I was on screen. It was adorable. But yes, sort of had to discreetly.
She was just squinting her tears away. Just, no, but isn't that? I do think sometimes it's really easy to forget that what you do does actually go out there in the world, and there are people that have things that you've designed, something that's come out of your head, you know, and then they've got that at home and they've got it in their house, and it might become something that's treasured.
It is, because I often think, I don't think very much beyond my sewing table often.
No.
It's hard to think that, you know, there are more being made out there, and it's lovely to get a picture.
Because it could almost be a bit lonely, actually, couldn't it? You are just doing it. You're sat by yourself, you're figuring it out, you're doing it all. I can imagine if you're just sewing by yourself all the time.
Yes, you don't necessarily
You don't know.
feel a connection to anybody else.
And there is such a sewing community as well, if you don't
There
if you
is.
go to classes and festivals and workshops and things. So just trimming around that.
So I've cut these 2 out, and then I've got 4 then. Here's some I've cut out before that I've not sort of pressed into the finished shape.
So it's just making sure that template isn't overlapping any of the pinked edges as well, because you do want it to have that smooth curve.
Yes. So I'll give this a... I'm quite a slow cutter outerer.
Round we go. But this is the Peacock Panda quilt, the one on your screens at the moment. You also get 2.5 metres of fabric for the main body of the quilt, and the backing as well, isn't it? And the binding. So the finished size of... Do we know the finished size of the quilt? Have we got it on? Might be on the instructions, actually.
I think it does. It should say.
Finished size, 53 centimetres by 65 centimetres. So the one you can see hanging on the wall behind us is the exact finished size. And that's what you've got all of your fabric in there for front, back, binding, everything you need for the clams and the pandas as well.
And I would save these pieces and make something else with them.
What would you make with those?
I don't know, probably pincushions. I'd probably sew them together.
Let's see what's left over. Actually, though, if you're doing it with 40, so there's 2 left over, you'd end up with quite a few little pieces like that.
You do. I've got a bag full of them. That I will sew together at some point. But you can make coasters with those.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, there are possibilities.
Quilters never throw anything away.
No. Are you a hoarder?
Oh, I try not to be, but yes, things do get out
Build
of hand
up.
every now and again. Right, to press the edge over for these, this is a technique using
I'm sorry, I've just
tin
got to
foil.
interrupt. When Jo came in a second ago, the designers have a trolley behind here with all their bits and pieces in they needed to show. And this was in one of the drawers of Jo's trolley. And I said, Jo, are you bringing in like a snack or a sandwich? I thought she had like a cheese spaghetti in her trolley that she was just going to bring in to eat between clamshells.
When you go through a bundle, you know, and I'm over here, I've got time to eat a sandwich.
Having a little snack, it just looked like it was all wrapped up. But she was like, no, it is something I will be using in there.
Right, so with a piece of foil,
we do highlights, we could do some hair. What else we use foil for?
One of the printed clamshells on there, and this is when we use the card template. Now, I always say when you starch, it makes things a bit easier, but actually somewhere in the mess that is my sewing room is my bottle of starch, but I can't find it. So I did this without starching them, and it's so much easier with starch. I didn't realise quite how much, because they just hold, once they're pressed into the final shape, they hold that fold there, curved fold really nicely if they've been starched, and they hold the shape. They don't move.
It's almost got a bit more of a crisp to it, hasn't it? It's nice and slick. So you would use the starch spray?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll give this a quick spritz of starch.
So the foil is just there. You just put that down to.
Well, we pop the card template, centre that, and the seam allowance over the top is 3/8 of an inch.
Okay.
I say sometimes say 5/8. I don't mean that. I mean 3/8. So it's just over the 1/4 inch. That's right, isn't it?
Just over a quarter. 3/8 is just
is
over a quarter. Yeah, because 2/8 would be a quarter.
Yes. So, and then use the foil.
Just after you've used that best press starch, which is the one on your screen at the moment.
Just bring the foil, fold it over so you can feel the edge of the card template. And this is why they need to be card, because it needs to hold its shape. You don't want it to fold. But the foil helps because it holds its place. Once you've moved it, it holds the fabric underneath then in place as well. So just press the foil around the edge and it will fold the fabric into place as well.
How did did you discover this technique? Is
This
this a common technique to use foil?
I'm not sure how common it is. Definitely a technique. I'm not sure how common it is.
No, I've
but
never seen it before.
It was one I read in a magazine.
Yeah.
In Love Patchwork and Quilting, actually. So I folded that on, and I'll give that a press now.
Okay.
And that should hold the fabric in position around the curve.
Like we're making Halloween, like gravestones or something. So the Best Press spray, this is the larger version as well, and this is the linen scent one. So there are 3 different versions. There's a lavender and a no scent, and this is my favourite one, the linen smell. So it smells like nice clean washing. You can just spray that on there, and just as Jo was saying, making it a bit crisper and a bit easier to work with.
Because when you come to sew them on as well, because the fabric has a tendency to move, especially along the bias, if you spray them with starch as well, they hold their shape, not just the fold, but they hold their overall shape better as well.
So you can iron on the foil, that's all fine?
Yes. I mean, if it's a new iron, you might want to put a pressing cloth in the way, or... And I'll open this out. And as well, the foil's a good conductor of the heat.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that.
It helps. I'll take that out. I don't think I've pressed that for quite long enough. I've only just turned the iron on, so... But there we go. And I'll just give it a press from this side once the foil's gone. Yes, I don't think I had that iron quite hot enough.
So this is the Prim Mini Steam Iron as well. So you might have seen this on the show before, but it's really popular. It's because quite a lot of the travel irons or the smaller irons don't use steam, but this has a little stopper in the top where you can pop some water in, so you can steam things if you want to. So you can take it, even if you wanted to take it away with you on holiday perhaps, you can use it. It's lovely to have next to your machine if you're doing lots of piecing or with smaller pieces, because you can get into those little nooks and crannies. And it's easy to use. It's nice.
Yes, this is the one. I mean, it's really easy to grip, and this is one I like because I have a very small sewing table, and I still knock it off every now and again. But it fits perfectly, and it's really good. I don't have to get up to
get the iron, and it is that design on the top. If you can see there, it just fits really comfortably in your hand. You can just pop your hand over it. It's not heavy. It's also got a really long cord. Yesterday we had 2 desks because we had the westerly rulers in, and Angie had to sit on a platform when she does the westerly rulers. So we had 2 whole tables, and that cord went from the other side of the studio all the way over here to plug it in, so you can stretch it.
So there's one pressed.
Okay.
And just go through all of them. I'll do one more to show, but just go through all of them so you've got a nice stack of all the pressed.
I was going to say, in terms of the routine of it, would you cut everything and then do all of, and then you just literally go for it with your templates and your foil and your starch and do all of those, and then and your pressing, and so you sort of do it methodically?
Yes. And also, I mean, I say this every time, I like to put a film on, because they take a while. Put something on and just...
You can almost do it on autopilot.
You can. It doesn't need, especially once you've done the first couple, it doesn't need too much concentration.
Well, while Jo just redoes that bit, we're just going to have a look at the bundle so you can see the 2 different colourways. We've been looking at the peacock one there, but we've also got... where's the other bundle gone? We've lost it. We'll get that in a second. But the peacock bundle is paired with the blue backing fabric that you can see we've had on the desk over there, and the black and white solids that you use for the pandas, and also the binding. Oh, we've got a little announcement. What's that then? Filming in. Oh, OK, it's a good deal. What's the deal? Tell me, Hannah. Oh, we're just in the process of amending the price that's on your screen at the moment, because it should be slightly more affordable than what's on there. So that price is about to go down. Producer Hannah's going to change that. That's an error upstairs. So that's just about to happen. So if you've already bought one of those, what will that will be changed? That will be will that be amended, Hannah? Yeah, that will all be amended. So don't stress if you've already checked out your basket on that. So that price is about to go down. Let me show you what you're going to get for the price. You've got black and white, and you've got your crosshatch on blue. Then the charm pack, this is the one we're working with. I'll start at the bottom this time so you see some different colours. You can just see some of those different designs in this charm pack. You get your wadding, you get your thread. Oh, I'm intrigued. What's the price going to go down to? You get all of your instructions. Everything you need there to make it. And the instructions are written by Jo, step-by-step instructions. You've also got your templates there that you can cut round, so you're ready to go with your foil and your cheese baguette that Jo had in her trolley. That really tickled me this morning. And then you've also got this in a red colourway. So if you want to have the main backing of the body of the quilt in red, and also the charm pack in a different colour, this collection from K Facet is the lipstick collection. Your black and whites too. And the red. And here's your charm pack now. Nice bold oranges and reds and pinks. It's a warmer collection in the red. KKGC39. Okay, so we have to say that was an error on our part, the price that was on the screen. It's going down to £55.95 from 56. Was it £56.95? Yes, so it is going down. The price was wrong. We're just amending that at the moment. So just to fill you in, we have to apologise for that and the error that was on the screens. But that has just dropped down to £55.95. Well, at least it didn't go up. It could be worse. So let's go back to Jo, who's pressing her foil and the clams there.
Okay. Am I okay to leave the iron there for a minute or two?
Of course you can. I love the smell of that spray. I can smell it over here.
It reminds me of those sweets. Is it Parma Violets or?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't tried those. It reminds me of the smell in my car. I have an air freshener that's a clean, I think it's called cotton laundry or something, and it smells like my car.
Right, so I've done all of the printed clams, and they're all done in the same way, where the fabric's folded over to give the curved edge. Now
Just look at one of those so you can see that there. Yeah.
That's my favourite one because the flower.
The flowers are perfectly.
But the panda faces are done slightly differently. They're double thickness. Because it's white and you don't want to see the printed fabric underneath or the edges of the ears, they're double thickness. So for each panda you need to cut out 2. Using that same template again. So I'll put one on top of the other.
It makes them pop a bit more as well, doesn't it?
It does. It gives them
a bit more...
Yes, makes them a brighter...
structure as well.
Yes, a brighter white. And then with the card template, pop that over, centre it in the same way you did for the printed clams, but this time draw around the top edge to get the curve. And then I'm going to sew along that line to get the seam so that it mirrors the ones we've pressed.
So you still want it to fit so it sits in line. You don't want it to be, because if it was a different size, you might not get that overall.
Yes, and it might be harder to line up actually if it was a bit smaller or a bit bigger, because the key to placing them later on is making sure they're all at the same. They line up vertically and horizontally, I think is the.
And also then you also get those diagonal lines going through it. You can just see they're building up. Actually as well, this would look different for everybody that makes it, because charm packs, you get different pieces of the material, don't you? So the fabric is obviously cut into the tiny squares, and everyone's charm pack will be slightly different in terms of what segment of the material they got. So your finished peacock one might have slightly different flower, or it might have a different, if it was fussy cut differently, it might look a bit...
It does, and the placement as well makes everyone different. But I was looking at the charm pack before, and I thought, I don't think I got this charm pack, but it was the one I had, but it was just a different section of one of the larger prints.
Because some of the larger prints, they do look really... like, is that from the same... Some of them, they look different in different parts.
They do.
They are beautiful designs. So you're sewing around that, just the top section. Again, we're on 3/8.
It's the same seam allowance. I'll do that quickly. And then, so that it turns, you get a nice smooth edge, clip V-shaped notches at regular intervals all around, taking care to avoid the stitches, all around the curve.
Sort of up to the stitch line.
I stop a bit before a millimetre or 2 just because I'm worried about cutting through my stitches.
Just give yourself a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah. And then turn it the right way out and give it a press. And we need 7 of these. There are 7 panda faces.
Okay.
And actually, you can either use the template, pop it in, to flip it round and push that up to get the curve when you give it a press, or finger press, really finger press this seam open, just so you get a smooth or as smooth a curve as possible when it's turned out the right way.
Because you're almost pushing up into that stitch, aren't you? So it's making it open up a bit more.
Makes it really nice. And so I'll go that far that way and I'll flip round and do this side.
Just pressing open the seam. Did you use the starch spray on the Panda as well?
I have. I've put a little spritz on these just so that they behave in the same way as the other ones.
Okay. Oh, we've got some pictures sent in of Panda Pop quilts. Let's see. Oh, look, Joe, look at these. Who's this one from? Claire. Morning, Claire. Brilliant.
It's just perfect.
Isn't that spot on?
It is.
Oh, that's cool.
I like the colours in that one.
Who was that one from? From Angela. And I like the frame as well.
Yeah, that works really nicely.
And Angela said that the silver foil is a great idea. Just making it a bit easier. And another one. Who's that one from? Janine.
So I love all the little faces.
I was just about to say, she said she really enjoyed making it. I love all the different faces. It's the different faces, isn't it? That they have a little personality. I love that winking one in the bottom corner who's like, can you spot me? And this one is from Pauline. That's gorgeous. Oh, that doesn't come with the quilt, unfortunately.
Just too adorable.
That's gorgeous. That's her grandson Jackson made it for him. Oh, that is really lovely. Oh, that's so, so gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Can we do a panda toy she requested to match the quilt?
I do need to do a panda toy.
We do need to do a panda toy.
Yes.
We'll work on that.
It's on the list. There is quite a big list though, unfortunately, at the minute.
And lovely. I love that. That's sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's really rewarding actually to see that they've been made.
There's actually people there
people
doing
have enjoyed
it,
making them. Well, I hope they've enjoyed making them.
Enjoy having them in their house, or
I've got bits everywhere. But that's how the face.
So you clipped round, you finger press it.
Done.
I know you clipped round, then you finger pressed it, and then turned it through.
Yes.
Okay.
And then give them a press so that both sides are definitely on top of each other. You want the edges to match up the front and back of the panda face clamshell. So we want 7 of those, 40 of these.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then I'll make the ears. So clear this out of the way.
Here it is. This is the finished, this is the semi-finished quilt using that Peacock K-Facet charm pack. So utilising 40 of the 42 squares within the pack and also 2.5 metres of fabric. So you get this backing blue that you can see. You also get your black and white solids for the pandas. And is the backing, what colour's the backing? White?
It's white.
It's white.
There we go. Got a spare ear piece. The ears, one on top of the other, right sides together, and then just sew around the edge. I'll do it in white so that it shows up. And then in the same way, just clip around the seam allowance. And the seam allowance on the ears is 1/4 inch, so 6mm around the top. So
you've got to get a collection of ears going. We're building a collection of ears on the table.
I have a sewing mat that my sewing machine goes onto, and the pocket was just full of panda ears the other day.
It's funny, isn't it? Because if someone else walked into your room, they'd think, what are all these? Like, you wouldn't even think they were anything, and you're like, oh no, those are panda ears.
That's vital. Don't throw that. Yeah, things that look
like you probably just disregard them, maybe throw them in the bin.
All the way around the outside.
Is that quite fiddly or not too bad?
It's quite fiddly. I mean, just do a couple of stitches at a time, and with the needle down through the fabric, just reposition, just take it easy. I mean, because you need the 7 pandas, 2 ears each, so that's 14. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm now worried.
There's 14 ears, no, you're good.
I'm normally confident, but then saying it on live TV is a worry that I might show myself up. But yes, 14 ears. The first couple might go quite slowly, but then once you've got your eye in.
And this is exactly the same as you just did with the main face of the panda. So you're clipping, and you're going to finger press those ones, or you just turn it through?
I'll just turn it through and roll the seam between my fingers.
It's a little bit smaller.
It is.
I just think that tin foil invention, whoever figured that out.
It's really
good. And as well, everyone's got foil at home, haven't they? It's not something you've got to buy and add to your stash. You've probably got it there already.
I just brought some foil from home. I thought, just in case they want jacket potatoes. No, I won't take the whole roll.
Really? Just in case they need the foil?
There we go. So
Next
those
time
are
I
the
see
ears.
you, I'd like you to have like some different snacks wrapped up in foil in your trolley. And also the advent calendar, we're getting so many messages in about it. You can see it just here. This is on at 11, so we're at 10:30. We've got exactly 30 minutes to go. So when we come back from that 11 o'clock break, we are launching the advent calendar this morning. It's the very first thing our brand new buyer Ian has bought here at Sewing Quarter, so we're really excited to share it with you. And 24 different little gifts in there for you to open on the countdown to Christmas. So we've got, well, the countdown's on. We've got 30 minutes till we launch that.
Right.
Okay.
So I've got my panda faces. Well, they're blank at the moment. Those done, the printed one's done, ears done. Now it's time, before we start layering them up, to put the eye patches and the nose onto the faces.
Okay.
So I've got...
And I've got lots of people trying to send in pictures. If you want to send pictures of your panda quilts, you have to do it via email and attach the pictures. So you can't do that on the website. If you do it on their studio@sewingquarter.com, get some more in. We love them. And this is what we're making, the Panda Pop Quilt. This colourway, really, really popular, XMGC33, so please do check out your baskets if you like the peacock one. As soon as we saw it, it's that exotic, the Panda Pop Quilt is popular anyway, but it's all pop, 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 but but in that, it does look so different in different fabric.
It does. It does. I really, in fact, I might have to finish this one off at some point.
And sneak it home.
Yes. I
There
might be doing
it is.
some sewing later.
You've got robins to do for tomorrow, haven't you?
I have.
You've got quite a lot of sewing to do tonight. You're going to be sleeping with that sewing machine in your hotel room.
I'm sure I dream about sewing.
Do you?
Yes. Right, the eye patches. Draw out the template. There isn't a seam allowance on these ones. Draw them out onto the backing paper of iron-on adhesive, and then cut them out neatly. So I'll just peel off the backing.
So is that Wonder Web or something like that?
Wonder Web, yes.
Yeah.
So I'll peel off. I have no fingernails.
I can get on.
I've got it there, but there we go.
Have we got any Bond? Yes, we've got some Bond Web here. If you do need to need to add some of this to your stash, you can use this for taking up hems and attaching things and sticking things on. It's kind of like a double-sided sticky tape, really, isn't it? Once you apply heat to it,
Yes.
so you can adhere things.
But it's really good because the glue sort of holds the edge as well, the raw edge together. Once it's on the back, it fuses all the ends, the cut ends of the fabric together as well.
Whereas if you stitched it, you would be like raw edge. You wouldn't be able to attach that right on the.
So you can get it in exactly the right position, and then it seals the edges as well, or sort of fixes the edges.
Is that in here? I'm just going to look at the instructions as well. Look at this cheeky one. You obviously add this after the detail. This sort of
Before quilting, yes, before quilting, but once they're all layered up.
You can see this is all the instructions about how you're going to use the foil, how you pop it over, how you create those.
I think drawing foil was the biggest challenge I've had in drawing a step-by-step illustration.
Did you draw that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's. I don't understand how you, because you want it to look scrunchy, don't you? Like, this is the foil. I think that's a good drawing of foil.
That was quite a challenge.
Yeah, I bet it's quite. Yeah, that's foil. That definitely looks like foil. You want to emphasise it's that scrunchy effect, don't you? But
yes.
It's scrunchy. That's scrunchy. Good drawing skills. Gosh, it's 10 times better than my drawing skills. That is one thing. Well, there's more than one thing that I can't do, but that is one thing I'm really not very skilled at.
Right. So the adhesive-backed patches. Now I'll move over and fuse these on.
Okay.
Just fiddle up, sort of move them about until you're happy with the position. I tend to, because I can see the seam allowance inside.
Yeah.
I tend to have the edges here and at the top sort of on the seam allowance that I can see through there. And you could also as well, just to make sure, just fold it in half and finger press it in half, just so you have the centre line, so you know they're lining up nicely.
The nose is like a little heart, isn't it?
It is, like a little wide heart. I might move those down a tiny bit.
So you can just fiddle around with those, can't you, until you get them exactly perfectly.
You don't want them too low because this bit will be covered up.
Oh, by the overlap.
Yes. But there we go. So I'll give that a press on. And they're fixed in place. And
It's clever, isn't it?
That's
just stuck on now.
This is great stuff. I'll turn the iron off just to to.
I'll do that.
I think
I'll get rid of those. Do you think we're done with the iron?
I think I'm done with the iron. Yes, I'm gonna say yes.
We can always get it out
sorry
again.
if I'm not.
Okay. So that peacock one is most popular at the moment. This is the one in the lead, so it's the blues. You've got blues and greens, that tropical, exotic sort of twist on our Panda Pop Quilt. Kind of works with the theme of pandas as well, doesn't it?
It does.
All quite tropical and exotic.
But I quite like it because I think pandas are quite shy, aren't they? Sort of the way they just sort of peep.
Hidden
from
away.
in between. Right, here's
It's shocking the statistics on pandas and things, isn't it, when you learn
is.
about with conservation and what the numbers. Well, with so many animals, it's tragic.
My youngest is really keen on animal facts and things, and he regularly tells me what's endangered and what's vulnerable. And
Oh, that's so lovely. Yeah. You can sponsor and things like that, can't you? Or you can like sponsor an animal and.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice idea. Right, this is the background.
Yes, let's move that out of the way. So
Move this out of the way for a moment. Move that in a tick. And then to help with the placement, I cut it should be, I think it's 22 inches wide by, I think it's 27 high. But 22 inches, pretty much, I cut the fabric in half. Okay. Because these bits will be trimmed off later, so you can have the
22 by 27? Was that
was that right? It was.
Go on,
See,
Jo.
sometimes it works.
Mrs. Panda Pop.
And then before we start layering up, to help with the placement, and as well there's this gap at the top before they start, I'm going to, with the water erasable pen, draw on a centre vertical line and then a line 5 inches down from the top going across.
And then that's where you can begin.
That's where I can begin, yeah.
So do you layer this from the top down or from the bottom up?
From the top down.
Top down.
So the first row is just one printed shell and one panda face.
You're going to mark onto the right side of the fabric?
Yes. In fact, I think I straightened off this edge, so I'll measure from this one. And a ruler is vital because when we position the clams, you need to check that they line up vertically and horizontally all the way along.
Otherwise, you won't get that uniform, the finished effect won't be quite as precise, will it? They might all be a bit skew-whiff. Like drunk pandas and clamshells. So 5 inches from the top and then the vertical line down the middle as well.
So I'll draw this on. I don't have to go all the way across, but I'll draw that on. That's the top line.
That still feels so wrong, doesn't it?
It
does.
Just
go in with a pen on the right side of your finished quilt.
If it's 22, I need 11, don't I? So I'll...
Yeah.
Okay. And then once this is on, I'll move this down a bit. I've got bits of thread everywhere, bits of whale.
Molting.
Bits of whale plush. Right, so with a panda face and a printed clam, I'd lay them out a bit first and have a bit of a play around. I think...
To know which ones you like where and if there are certain...
Yes.
You don't want to end up with two the same next to each other and stuff like that. And
there will always be, when you look at them, you'll always have a favourite. I might start with this sort of stripy one at the top this time.
Okay. I like that one too, actually. It's pretty, isn't it?
Yes, but I sort of used that one. I thought, would I be copying that one? Should I make them a bit different?
And the one you said with the flower right in the centre is really pretty.
Yes, I think I'm saving that one. I think it needs to go centrally
right
in a minute.
Middle.
Yeah.
Like, there I am, look at me.
Now, to help lay them out, to help get them straight, I'll finger press them in half, and then you've got a centre line. It's not so vital for this first row, but it helps moving down. So I'll position those next to each other, and then check with the ruler that they're straight. So I use one of the lines on the ruler.
Jo, did I miss? Do you attach all the ears afterwards?
I'm going to pop the ears in a minute, so I'll position these, get them straight, and then I'm just going to tuck the ears behind, because when we fix the clams to the backing fabric, it will also
so you encapsulate the ear in that.
The ears in at the same time.
I'm with you.
Okay, I think they're level. So I'll pop some pins in to hold these in position, and I'll tuck the ears in as well.
So this is almost the point where you just want to get them all on there, don't you, and lay them out and get it all done really quick. But you do need to check, use your lines, use your markings, so you can get that precision and have that nice straight.
But even with checking and double checking, making sure everything lines up, they still do go on quite quickly.
With all the different patterns as well. Plums are popular, aren't they, in terms of with quilting? That nice curve.
Yes, it's just because it's so often with patchwork, it's so many straight lines. I mean, you can create the illusion of curves with straight lines, but I love just every now and then
a real curve.
So I'm going to tuck the ear behind, and again tuck about 3/8 of an inch, so it sort of mirrors the seam allowance we took up there. So I'll pop that one in there. Pop that one in there. Make sure they're sort of level and the same amounts sticking out for each one.
Okay.
And I'll pop a pin in just to hold those in place. And if you're nervous about sewing curves, you can start down here, sew around the edge, and then finish. Just do one at a time and check that you're happy. Or even if you carry on a continual line, come right down, because if you need to unpick one, you've still got the stitch line there. So the thread.
You could leave the previous one there. If
you
that
can
was
leave.
okay.
Yes.
So you're going to come down further behind, because this is going to be backed anyway, isn't it? So
it is. So all this stitching now you won't see.
No. So basically, if it goes a little bit wrong or you need to come a bit further down, you're okay.
Yes, it's fine. It's safe. So I've just made sure that they meet just above sort of where they'll be covered up in a bit, because we want there to be a point where they meet at the top of the next one. So they just overlap.
But already you can see how we're going to create the template for where that next one is going to sit.
Yeah.
And as you go down and down, it's sort of got exactly the puzzle piece of where that next one is just going to slide in. It tells you where it's going to go.
And then you've got that join as well. When you finger press the shell in half, you just line up that crease with the
join
there.
The one previously.
So I'll stitch these into position.
Okay.
Sewing curves on ITV.
It's like risky. Yesterday, the Wesley rulers, we had brand new feather ones, and talking about curves and things like that. We had a wreath one and mini Baptist fan, all curves, but it just does it for you. It pretty much does it for you. So clever. I know that's for quilting.
I need to watch that demo because I missed it yesterday. But I'm intrigued by them.
The Westerly rulers, they're for quilting, but it's for free motion quilting, isn't it? And just means all of a sudden it opens up this door of all different shapes and things that previously you would never attempt to do, or you would just send it off to be quilted, or lots of people with, objects that maybe UFOs, things that they've not even bothered finishing because they just can't, because they don't want the challenge of free motion quilting. And also turning that quilt round and round and round, whereas the ruler takes that away. All you have to do is have it in front of you.
It's that, but for me, it's the sort of fighting with a quilt to turn it, and I'll take that.
Have you got a machine with a big throat space?
Yes, it's a bit wider than usual.
If you do a lot of quilting, it's just...
My problem is that the machine is good, but I don't have... There's a wall there
behind it.
So
you've got to twist, you're like right there, battered off against a wall. Is this one still the most popular? Is this one Peacock one in the lead? The Peacock one is still in the lead. That's the most popular this hour at the moment. So the blue one you can see. We have got this in a red colourway as well in the lipstick charm pack. So it's got some different, similar prints, but different colours and different colourways of the same designs. So the price for those is slightly less than what's on the screen. It's £55.95, so it's £1 less, just over £1 less than what's on your screen. So you've also got the pattern and all of the templates in there that you need to make it, all of your instructions from Jo. You've got the wadding, you've got 2.5 metres of fabric, and your thread and embroidery skein as well. So the price for both of those is the same, depending whichever one you might like. £55.95, so £1 less than what's on there, just over.
Right, so the first two are fixed in place, and then the next row is 3.
Okay.
So what should we go for? That one, do you think? That's a bit of a greeny one.
That looks a bit like a jellyfish.
It does,
doesn't it? How long have we got? A couple of... Oh, no, we're okay.
Do you think that layout? Maybe I'll do... So I'll waste time. Right, should I just get on with it?
No. You've got to put them where you want to put them. You don't want to go back and not like it.
So I'm finger pressing this in half, so I know where the centre is at the top. So that will go over there like that. Do the same with this one.
Joe, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. We've got an exact 15-minute countdown is now on to our advent calendars at 11. So we're doing a countdown for the countdown thing. The advent calendar, we've got a sewing kit advent calendar that we are premiering. We're launching this at 11 o'clock this morning. We've been talking about it all morning. I hope you've got that time firmly fixed in your brain if you do want one. The hemline sewing kit, that's going to be the first thing that's on at 11. So straight after that break at 11 o'clock, we're going to launch that at 11. And it's, well, lots of different sewing treats and things hidden in there that you can open on your countdown to Christmas. I can't believe we're doing a countdown to a countdown item. A countdown for the countdown.
The thing is, I know so many people that would love one of those.
Just spoil yours. It's something to look forward to in the morning, isn't it? Or I think first thing in the morning.
Right, so I've positioned those on, and I'm going to check now that they're all, so I'll use that centre line.
So you finger pressed in half and then you use the one above to figure out where the centre point is and then you built it out from there.
Yes, so I've positioned those on and I can see this one, that one's slightly higher than the centre one, that one's slightly lower. So I'll just readjust.
It's fractional, isn't it? But it makes a difference.
It is because, and you want to keep it as perfect as possible at this point because any discrepancy will be magnified as you go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Along.
The further as you go down, add on and on.
Did I say that one had to go
That one was down a bit, wasn't it?
So I'll do another check. And they're pretty much all at the same level. Now, further on, I would make sure that the points were lining up. So for subsequent rows, I'd make sure that these pointed lower bits were in a line as well.
Okay.
Because it drifts to one side, it can be noticeable. I think I've just moved those out of the way.
Over half the stock of the peacock one has now gone, so please check out your baskets if you like that one. KMGC33. And that's the one Joe's working with. You can ring the call centre as well, 0800 112 4433. Here it is as a whole, or not quite a whole. It's half made, a bit more made up than the point we're at the moment. So just building up those clamshells and the pandas peeking through too. How many pandas did we end up with? 7?
7. Yeah.
7 pandas.
Right, so I'll just double check. I've pinned those in place, but again, just checking. Yep, they're all...
That's better, isn't it?
They're all in place. And then I'll sew around these. And then I'll move on to that one. I'll put the next row on that one.
We've got about 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
And in terms of the process, when you're repeating this and going down, you don't add on the faces till the end.
I would put the faces on once all the clamshells were in position, then, because it's easier to put them on at that point. And actually, before I embroidered the face, I would go around with the machine using black thread, sew around the outside of the nose, on the patch, but close to the edge, around each eye patch and the nose.
Yes, on there.
Just for extra security. And actually, it looks small and fiddly, and it is. But with black thread, you can't see it at all. So
if it goes a little bit,
if it goes a little bit awry,
it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
I wonder if we can look at that on the quilt here. You can just see, and again, it's just adding that little bit of extra detail. I like the eyes. Very cute. It's just got a stitch all the way around there. And then obviously putting the eyes on and a stitch all the way around the little heart nose as well.
I've gone way too close to the edge at the beginning there. So I could get away with that and it's fine. But if I was worried that it was too close or I'd missed it, I could just unpick back to there. And I've gone far enough back that those threads aren't going to work loose, especially when I've got another layer of
That's what you said underneath. Every time. You take that stitch further down so you can go back on it if you need to.
Yes. It just saves having to remove a whole row of stitches.
Have you got any advice on curves, generally?
Take it easy. Take it slowly at first. The needle down function's brilliant because you can stitch a few stitches and readjust. But actually, it's practice, really, getting used to them. These are nice, wide-ish curve.
You just take the time.
I quite like stitching curves. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea.
It's quite mesmerising just watching that going round and round.
Just make sure I'm straight.
So this one, to get that placement, is all about checking as you go. So you're using the line first of all, and then you're using the almost the empty puzzle piece to then act as your guide for the next row, and get your ruler out, check your lines, check it matches up vertically, horizontally, if you want it to be spot on.
Because it does,
replica of this.
It does have an impact later on. And yes, the straighter you can keep, especially the first few rows, the easier it is.
It's almost like if you let one slip up here, it is going to have a knock on.
It will.
We've only got 2 minutes or so, so you would carry on. Do you want to work onto this one?
Okay,
I'll
I'll
swap
move on
over.
to
So
this
we
one.
would carry on building up here.
So I'll press this one. And now when I'm lining these up, this is the point where I would want, with the ruler, I'd check that the line, this line as well, matches, as well as the height, they're in line vertically.
Yeah.
So for each one, they follow.
That
one's
all the
directly
way-
above, nothing
way through.
sliding to one side, because if this is over slightly, there where it meets another one, that point will be, instead of following the line, it will slide off to one side.
And they'll all start to shift. As we've only got a couple of minutes, what would be the next step, imagining that this has been built up? So we repeat that process that you've just shown in terms of putting on the next row. You would do that here. Obviously, It's all in the instructions, but say, for example, with these, what happens? What's the next thing, if imagining that this was filled in?
Right, once it's
We've only
full,
got about a minute. So.
stitch around these so they're all secured, embroider the faces on. And then the next bit, trim. You can trim away these bits just because they flap a bit and get in the way, but don't trim it down fully yet. Then layer it up with your backing, wadding, this on the top, baste it together, and then quilt it. Now, I quilted it with using the template, so I echoed this shape all the way along, and I just quilted going over, close to the edge, all the clams, all the way along, and that gave this pattern on the back. And then once it's all quilted, trim it down. And when you trim the sides, I don't know whether you can see on this one, you want, if possible, these edges, you want to leave, I would trim it down generously at first and then go a bit smaller.
Yeah.
Don't cut it straight down at first. But I like to leave about 3/8 of an inch. So I'd line it up to the edge so that when the binding's on, these fall right at the edge of the binding.
Into the binding.
And at the bottom, you want to leave the same seam allowance again, so that from this point, you've got that 3/8 there or thereabouts for your binding.
So all the way around, you've got that crisp edging and the frame around the clams.
So they all finish. And when you're sewing the binding on here, fold and pin that ear out of the way, just so it doesn't get caught in the binding seam, because this one does ever so slightly overlap the binding.
Okay. Perfect. So that's pretty much the whole, sorry to have to fast forward you on that end bit, but thank you so much. Look at this, one last look at our cave facet with the peacock. Let's turn it around so you can see. I've got a sneaky feeling we're going to end up wanting to finish this one, aren't you?
I just feel I need to give it a little mouth.
It just needs to have a little smile or whatever's going to go on there, and you can pop your eyes on and everything. So this is the peacock quilt that Joe's made this morning, and we also did the whale at 8 o'clock. You can go back and watch. We're just going to recap the bundles that you've got, and well, you're going to have to get your phone out, Joe, for get an advent calendar, get ordering in the agreement. I'll see you in a second. Okay,
See you in a bit.
Let's have a look. So big thank you to Joe. So we've been looking at those, the 2 different panda quilts this morning. We'll start with the peacock one, which has been the most popular. Well over half the stock of this one's now gone. So you've got the linear crosshatch look fabric, which was the main body of the quilt. Your white, which you use for the backing and also for the panda faces. And your black as well, for the panda ears and all of those, and the binding. And then all of these ones that you've seen, that we've been working with this morning, all different designs from the cave. We've only got a quarter of the stock of this one now, so lots and lots of people with this in their basket. It isn't guaranteed as an order for you until you've checked it out, so just make sure if you do want it, just because I don't want you to miss out. If it is the one that you want, you can check your basket all the way through to the end with only a quarter of the stock left. And let's just remind you of the price of that. The screen says $56.99. The price is, in fact, $55.95. So $55.99. $55.99. So I'm getting a bit number confused this morning, but it is $55.99. That is the price of that quilt. Then we've also got it in a red colourway. So again, you've got your black and white for your binding, for your backing. You've got the red for the main body, so the way you're going to place your pandas. And the lipstick cave collection. You'll recognise a lot of these from the blues, but just in a different in nice warm reds, burnt oranges. Again, your wadding, your thread. $55.99 is the price for that. KKGC39. We're sorry about that slip up with our graphics this morning and with the number crunching. And also thank you so much for sending in your Panda quilts. We love seeing those. That little one with the baby on there is gorgeous. So we are now into the 2-minute countdown for the 5-minute countdown. 2 minutes till the break, till the for the advent calendar. So just a quick brief of what's coming up so you can be ready, poised at the phone if you do want to go. We've got a hemline advent calendar this morning. This is a sewing kit advent calendar. So every little window inside filled with a sewing gift. What more can you want on the build up for Christmas? If you're watching Sewing Quarter, it's quite likely you're into sewing. There you go, you've got your windows there. So as with the normal advent calendar, you can see it's slightly wider because it's got more things inside than a chocolate one would. We're going to open one of those windows this morning, but at 11, so 4 minutes now, we will be going for the advent calendar. We're counting down to the countdown object. There you can see, and it's from Hemline, so we have lots of products from Hemline on the show. We have pins and scissors and all sorts of bits and pieces, and it's just a nice little grown-up version of an advent calendar, isn't it? I know people go for chocolate, and whether it's for yourself or even to buy one for a friend. And we also, I have seen them with candles and makeup, but I've never seen a sewing kit version before. So remember, you can do this on the website. You can do it sewingquarter.com. You go to the watch page underneath the live feed of today's show at 11. This will go live. Also, you can ring the call centre, so that number on your screen. We're all fixed and repaired now. 0800 112 4433 is going to be the number for the advent calendar. We know that is going to go crazy. I'm not sure quite how quickly they're going to go because we've got quite a lot of stock, but I reckon that is going to, I reckon it's going to fly out because we've had lots of requests this morning. Loads of messages, people asking on social media, messaging us on Facebook, really excited for the advent calendar. So we're coming up to 3-minute countdown now to advent calendars. So you've got a couple of minutes. Come back, do whatever you need to do. We'll see you in 3 minutes. Get your phones ready.
Follow us on Pinterest. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to discover sewing work we create and love.
Jo Carter's menagerie just keeps growing. And now we have a new festive addition to her soft toy collection. Join us on Friday the 27th of October when Jo will show us how to make this adorable robin. As the nation's favourite bird, the robin brightens up our winter gardens with its red chest and cheerful song. Jo will bring this feathered festive friend to life using beautiful spray-time prints which give the appearance of plumage. Pellets in the base let you transform this soft toy into a doorstop or freestanding Christmas decoration that'll take more than a north wind to blow it off its perch. So join me, Amy Burrows and Jo Carter for an hour of festive fun on Friday the 27th of October at 9 a.m. Only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Follow us on Instagram. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to get our latest posts.
Get cosy with a cuppa and an early mince pie this Saturday as we celebrate Christmas with Mandy Shaw. Mandy has the perfect collection of Christmas ideas that'll charm the whole family this festive season. From stockings and advent calendars to wreaths and decorations, Mandy has everything you could possibly need for a traditional celebration. So, join John Scott and Mandy Shaw for a fabulously festive morning, Saturday the 28th of October at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Join us on Facebook. Simply search for the Sewing Quarter and like our page for the latest news and more.
Tune in on Saturday the 28th of October as Lucy Brennan returns with some brand new Creative Grids rulers. If you liked her last selection, boy will you love the latest range which will help you create awe-inspiring effects with ease. These time-saving tools are a must for any regular quilter, and coupled with Lucy's expertise, they'll help you take your skills to a whole new level. Join Lucy as she gets creative with the pineapple border, colour wheel and spider's web rulers, to name but a few. That's Saturday the 28th of October at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m,
only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Follow us on Twitter for more inspiration, top tips, news, and share your own creations with us.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're blasted off. Here we go. 11 o'clock. We promised you we were going to bring the Sewing Kit Advent Calendar. 11 o'clock was the time. Are you here? Are you ready to go? Have you got your cup of tea and your phone ready to go? And give us a ring if you want a Sewing Kit Advent Calendar this morning. Now, this one is from Hemline. We've never had anything like this on the show before. Well, it's our first Christmas, but our floor manager Jay just said he's never seen anything like this before. Really cool, very different. Rather than your chocolate, we're going for a twist on it with the Sewing Kit Advent Calendar this morning. So in here, there are 24 different windows for you to open. I'm sure you know the method of an Advent Calendar and how they work, but here we go, look at that. What a lovely treat for yourself or for a friend. And sometimes at Christmas you forget yourself, don't you? You get a bit wrapped up in making sure you're buying presents for mum and dad and nan and granddad and children and whoever knows what else, and maybe you don't treat yourself. So in advance, this is the time to get something, so you've got something to look forward to in December and to count you down to Christmas Day. We have been receiving messages about this all day. Well, in fact, since we put it on social media a couple of days ago, everybody in the office, they all want an Advent Calendar. They're all going to have their phones ready to go. And also, well, we'll come to this. If you don't want to know what's inside, I'm not going to reveal all of it. We're in two minds about whether we should tell you some of the things inside or not, because we know you might want a surprise. Look, this is what's inside. I'll just cover it. Here we go. Are you ready? Loads of you ready to go? Here it is, the Sewing Kit Advent Calendar from Hemline. Here it goes. If you want this morning, $24.95. You can get this on the website, sewingquarter.com, or you can give the call centre a ring, 0800 112 4433. Here we go, already gone crazy. JMGQ76, $24.95 if you want to buy that for yourself or for someone else. Over 50 already in baskets. Oh my goodness, in 30 seconds. So people multi-buying these as well. Maybe you're buying one for you, one for your Auntie Sue, one for your daughter or your granddaughter, who knows. But what a lovely little treat for the countdown to Christmas. JMGQ76, that is your number there. If you want to look away now, if you don't want to see, we're going to open one window. We've had people sending in their lucky numbers this morning, so we can choose a number to open. If you don't want to see, maybe just turn your TV down for 30 seconds and look away while we do it. Maybe while you're on the phone and you're ordering one. Just going to give you a sneak peek of something that might be inside, and we're not going to open it all. We don't want to ruin that surprise. So, drum roll please, producer Hannah. What's the most popular number? Number 3. Okay. Where's number 3? This is the fun of the Advent Calendar, isn't it? Finding the number, finding the window. Where is number 3? Oh, it's a small one. Then I go a bit like, is it, okay, number 3, here we go. So if you don't want to see, now's the time to look away. I'll give you a little cue in a minute when you can reopen it. So we open that window there. What have we got inside? Universal machine needles. Always a really useful thing to have. Let's open that up. So these are from Hemline, so that brand that we know. And you can all use them. That's just one of the things in this Advent Calendar. So with 24 windows, that's just over £1 a day. Over 50% of the stock of this already checked out. Let's open these little needles. So well over 100. We're in the hundreds. We're in the hundreds of these. The little needles there. That's just one example of a gift we've got from window 3. So you get 24 little gifts like that from Hemline. So just a smidgen over it, £1.03 a gift every day. So, well, that's pretty much nowadays the price of a chocolate bar, isn't it? I'm going to hide that back in there. So if you didn't want to see one, you can come back now. We've hidden it. You won't have to look. So if someone's got they're not looking, you want to have a look. We've covered that back up. So all of those different windows. Let's have a look. Who's got some of these so far? Have we got some on our iPad? Margaret's got one. Morning, Margaret. Well done. Karen, Lisa, Carol, Emily. Well done, all of you. You've all managed to get one. Norma, Julie. Everyone's been waiting on that phone ready to go at 11. Shirley, Gail. The list goes on and on. People multi-buying as well. We're not going to have enough of these, I don't think. Okay, so we've got more people in baskets than we've got stock available for this at the moment. So if this is one that you want, Heather, Elizabeth, everybody checking this out, Nicola, well done if you've managed to get one. I can't wait as well in December for us to all share the excitement of opening these advent calendars. You can, this is a brand that we love. This is a brand we have a lot here at Sewing Quarter. I've seen, oh, producer Hannah said she's seen this done with cheese. She's seen a cheese advent calendar. And our producer Paul also saw a wine advent calendar. But do we really need more to eat and drink at Christmas? Well, I would say yes, I'm a bit of a foodie. But if you want something else, maybe something a bit different, that Sewing Kit advent calendar this morning. JMGQ76, $24.95. Way more in baskets than people who are going to manage to get one this morning. So if you do want to check that out, you can do it on the phone as well. I don't want you to be disappointed. So if you do want that, we're not 100% sure whether we're going to be able to get this back in stock. We really are a bit unsure of whether we're going to be able to get it back. Hopefully we will. But if you do want it, you want to have this ready to go for December. Today's the day to check it out. So well done. Christine, Sylvia, Judith, Penny, lots of people, Susan, so many people checking these out. Wow, I feel like I'm talking like a steam train this morning, like chicka, chicka, chicka. But you need to be quick if you want this. So, okay. We're going to take this out of the graphic because over 100 people have got this in their baskets. And how many have we got left? 20. So if you do manage to get one, well done you. Oh, it just keeps going up. The numbers are going up and up and up. So you were all there. I'll tell you what. Thank you. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who also was obviously listening to me talking about that this morning and getting that time firmly fixed in their brain at 11. Let me know why you're excited. Why did you want this? What appealed to this? Less than 10 left in stock now. What appealed about this to you? I'm really sorry if you do miss out on one of these today. Hopefully, I know people in the office will be trying to get this back in stock. So if we do manage to get it, I know that everyone wants one for themselves. So well done if you did manage to get one. Wow. What an epic first. Over 100 people are going to miss out on that. It's sold out. It's gone. We're done. Our floor manager will have to take these off. 7 minutes. I tell you what. Here you go, Jay. Thank you very much. I'm impressed, guys, at the speed and agility at which you must be putting in your details online for ordering online and also on the phone. Well done if you did manage to get an advent calendar this morning. Thank you so much for being with us here at Sewing Quarter. Dead on 11. Ready to go. Ready to buy those. So, we didn't just have that. I'd be a bit worried if we only had that in this hour because we'd have nothing left to talk about. Maybe we could just sit here and eat some chocolate. But this hour is all about Christmas gifts under £40. So we've got loads of different kits, different things that you might want to make to give as gifts, or kits that you might want to give to people who want to get into sewing so that they might want to make. So we've got lots of toys. We've got hedgehogs. We've got frogs. We've got foxes. We've got monkeys. We've got all sorts of different things, and all of these this morning under £40. So we're looking at that price point where, so we don't want it to topple over into something that might be too expensive to give as a gift. First up, our Tilda fox. So this is a little, I know we associate foxes maybe being a bit sneaky, but this is a cute little fox from Tilda, and it's a really lovely way of showcasing the Tilda fabric from that collection. This is from the Harvest collection. So you've got all of those different patchwork sections, and the way that this is showcased on the front with the arms and legs, you get to see all of those different colours as well. This little fox, it comes in a box. It's a fox in a box. Let me hold it here. Oh, I'm a bit skew-iffy. So the height of this fox is a really tall one. This is it 60 centimetres? 61 centimetres, our foxes. So make a really lovely gift if you did want to give this to someone and make it, or if you wanted to give it to inspire someone to sew. So let's have a look what's in here. The content, you've got your fabric, so all of your fabric from the Tilda Harvest collection. You've got embroidery yarn, you've got your thread, you've got a sewing needle. You've also got the wooden stick, which Tilda often include in their kits, so you can push right down into those nooks and crannies of the arms and legs. And of course, your instructions. The only thing you've got to add to that is the wadding. £19.95, WRGQ39. This is to make our little fox friend. And the fabric, I will just show you, if we got it in here. Here we go. I'm going to have to lay you down, Mr. Fox, I'm sorry. Okay. This is the fabric that's included in this from Tilda. It's a lovely collection. So you've got, these almost look a bit like Christmas baubles actually when you look at these through Christmas tinted glasses. And you've got your ditzy floral as well. Let's just look at those on a close-up. And then you've also got, this is for the face. That is my favourite print from that collection. Then you've got olive greens and teals and aquas. And another floral there as well. All to make our little sneaky fox. He's a patchwork fox, so it's a lovely way of incorporating those different fabrics. Here he is. Tilda Harvest Colourful Fox. He's lovely. He's a little cute one. 1995. Oh, we've got some lovely messages in. Let's have a look. So, Mandy from Lincolnshire. Morning, Mandy. Yay, I got an advent calendar. I am so happy. There's a lot of O's on that message. So good, Mandy. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad we've made you happy this morning. Sorry if you did miss out. We really will try to get those back in stock. We knew they were going to fly out. Didn't quite expect them to go in 7 minutes. Sarah from Hampshire. Just treated myself because it's my birthday today. Morning, Sarah. So, Sarah or Sarah? You've got no H on the... Sarah or Sarah. But I'm glad you got one. Happy birthday. Ready for Christmas as well. And Fiona, feeling smug, got the advent calendar. So sorry to anyone that missed out. Now to take some time continuing to shop. Well done, Fiona. I'm glad you managed to get one as well. So thank you so much to everyone that did get an advent calendar this morning. If you didn't manage to get one, we have still got some lovely gifts this morning that you might want to give or make for Christmas. So I'm sorry if you did miss out. We really will try to get those back in stock. And I tell you what, well done to our brand new buyer, Ian. He's onto something good there. I reckon we're going to have some really exciting new products to come if that's a taster of the sort of thing that he's going to source and find for us here as part of the team at Sewing Quarter. So that is our Tilda Fox. Now we've also got the classic Tilda monkey. This one, our swinging monkey, he can normally be found like this because he hangs on there. Just hanging on he can hang on the bookshelf, he can sit on there, he can sit wherever you like him to. He's another tool toy from Tilda. The lovely thing about Tilda is a lot of their toys, they're very iconic. If you know Tilda, you know the brand, you will recognise these. We're constantly reordering the different Tilda toys because they are so popular. So the great thing about this kit is there is enough fabric in there to actually make 2 monkeys. So for £19.95, less than £10 per monkey, so you can make 2 of these to give as gifts. Should we sit this next to our fox? I don't know if a fox and a monkey would get on. I'm not sure about that, but they are today for the sake of Tilda and Christmas. This is our Monkey Friends bag. So this comes in a gift bag. So we had fox in a box, we've got monkey in a bag. And in here, as I said, you get enough fabric to make 2 monkeys, 2 of our swinging monkey friends. And a lot of people, and we've received a lot of pictures with people who have used this pattern. So you get your instructions here. I'll open this out. But a lot of people, once they've bought it and they've got the templates, then rightly so, they're using it to create their own monkeys using different fabrics. So you get all of your templates in there. You've got all of your instructions. I like as well with the Tilda, you've got their coloured instructions. So rather than them just being black and white, you can really clearly see for the fabric placement and everything. It's that attention to detail, and that's what we like Tilda for. That's why we love it, because they look at those details, they look at those little things to really set them apart. But you can see here, this is everything that's included in the kit. Then you've got your instructions talking you through the assembly, the method, the body, the ears, the face, and your template pieces as well. And then we've also got in here all of the fabric. So enough to make 2 monkeys. So you could have one in this fabric, which is the one we've got made up here. I'm going to call him Merlin the monkey. And then we've got this fabric too for your other monkey. Or you could mix and match them if you wanted. You could have tails and arms and legs in different fabric if you wanted to. And then also in here you get your felt. This is to go in the ears, so you can get that lovely feel to it. You've got your wooden stick. So they often include these, as I was saying, actually with the fox, just to use it to poke right into those corners. So if you've got these fiddly bits, and what's lovely about the monkey You can see the curl on the little arms and legs, so you can hang it up if you want to. But just getting into those fine points can be a bit tricky, so you've just got to stick in the bag. They think of everything. You've just got to stick in the bag so you can get right into the crevices. And also in there, one more thing, you've got the other fabric that you need for the face. So that golden fabric that just teams up well with the different colours in the bag. So, 2 monkeys, OXGQ92 1995. Okay, we've had some good, nice messages. This one's from Shirley in Hampshire. Hi, did not want a chocolate advent calendar. Husband was going to get me a cheese one until today. Yes, I have one. Hooray! Brilliant. Great, Shirley. I'm glad we managed to sway you towards sewing. And we've also got one from Christine from Lancashire. Morning. Well, I wasn't going to, but when hubby says get it, what's a girl to do? Enjoying the fun, Christine. Brilliant. That's great. Exactly. If you know you got the green light there from hubby, go ahead and get one. Sorry if you did miss out, but lovely that all of those of you that did manage to get a calendar this morning. Why not? Treat yourself. Producer Hannah upstairs is saying, I didn't get one. I wanted to get one for my mum, but I can't because I'm here on my computer tapping away and making sure everything upstairs is ticking away. But these are the Christmas gift ideas. You've got your Tilda monkey there. You've got your Tilda fox. So we've got those 2 first of all. Can you see those there? Now, we've also got, let's move that bag. This is the, just to emphasise as well, that Tilda bag, if you don't want to make it yourself, maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't even sew, but if you wanted to give that as a gift, if you perhaps know somebody that sews or is into sewing, it's a really lovely present. All wrapped up in that gift bag. And everything in there. It's quite hard to believe that everything in there to make those monkeys, it fits in there, but it does. So that's our monkeys. Now we've also got, the last Tilda thing we've got is a Tilda cute cupcake kit. So let's have a look at what's in the cupcake kit. That's quite hard to say, cute cupcake kit. So you can use these as pincushions. You could use them as pattern weights if you wanted to fill them perhaps with something a little bit heavier. Oh, I'm getting an, she's got an idea, producer Hannah, what's the idea? Oh, you could embroider little names on them or initials, that's a nice idea, personalise them. So you get the fabric in here for 3 cupcakes, so 3 little cupcakes. You also get the Vaseline, you get the little red berries to go on the top, your thread, your needles, your wooden stick and your instructions. I'll open this up so you can see. I've seen the fox and the monkey before, but I've never seen the cupcake. This one's new to me this morning. Oh, look, there's the little red berries there. So you can just fold those and pop them on the top. So they sit there like cherries on the top of your cupcake. And let's just look at the fabric you get in this one. Here we go. So 3 different cupcake bases. You've got the pink. You've got the aqua and teal. And you've got the orange as well. Sort of a copper orange, actually. So you've got those 3. Those are to sit on the base of your cupcake. Then you've got your Vaseline. And you've got your cream solid fabric there as well to sit on the top. So for your sponge, if you like, for the sponge of your cupcake. And then you've got your little berries there. You get a couple of those. There's some more in the bag. They're hiding away in here. You've got your thread. You've got your stick. And then you've also got all of your templates there. So that's obviously to create the cupcake case. Oh, that's making me hungry. Like a little cupcake. Put a surprise in the middle as well. Those ones on the, I feel like I've spoken a few times about the Great British Bake Off today, but those ones where they have all little surprises inside, or when I love the ones when you cut them open and they look like Union Jacks, or they've got something snazzy inside. So that's from the Spring Diaries Tilda collection. So 3 little cute cupcakes, your orange, your aqua and your pink. All of your instructions there as well, and your templates and the berries too. So we don't have finished cupcakes to show you, but if you do make those, please send in a picture. We'd like to see them. Let's pop those back in there. We did have cupcakes. We did have the cupcakes, but we can't. We've got honestly, if you saw our offices, we started with a couple of little things out there. We had a shelf, and then we had a unit, sort of a chest and a bureau with all things in there. And now we've got rails, we can't fit everything here. We have to take some away from the office because we've got too many mates. Our designers have been far too busy. Now, you might have spotted, we've also now added, let me move the cupcake fabric to the side. Let's pop that on there. These are new to me. I'd never seen these, well, until yesterday when I was looking at what we had on the show this morning. The theme for this morning, these are all under £40, so this is keeping it under that price point. And what these are, examples like the samples you can see on the front of the desk here. I'm going to just let's lift one up. This is an example. You get in the packet all the fabric you need to make this quilt. So you can incorporate this into a bigger quilt if you wanted to. You get all of the fabric for the Lone Star, for the front, for your binding, and for your backing. So all the fabric that you need is included in the kit. But I think it's probably more obvious if I show you what it actually looks like. I think it is... Yeah, that is the Lone Star. Because the other one is the house. And the leaves. Yeah, this is the one. It's got the little florals on there. You can see that quilted in here. And what comes in here, look at that, all of your fabric. Now, what the great thing is about these are from Rachel of Greenfield. And what's great about her, the packs that she puts together, I was doing some research yesterday on what she does. And she designs these packs, but what's her real skill is putting together the colours that you might not necessarily team up. So you know that if you follow this exact pattern, you're going to get exactly what is on the front of the packet. So this is a different colourway, but those are your different colours there for the Lone Star. And the finished size is 22 inches by 22 inches. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So the next one is the wall house quilt. Let's move that over. This one is in your blues. So you get 4 little houses. I'll hold it up so you can see. So let's have a look at everything you get in the kit to make that. $33.95. You've got all of the fabrics. You've got your instructions and the quilting designs. Can we open one of these up? Let's open it up. You also get the batting, which I think is great. So you've got everything to make it exactly like that. So houses, let's see. So I'll start off with the fabric. Got lots of different lovely blues and midnight blues in here. A nice traditional colour palette, but different quantities of the fabrics, obviously, depending on what sections they're used for. On the front of the quilt, but lovely quality fabric too. I like that one, kind of like a dark night. All of these in there. So there is your backing fabric. Then, as I said, you also get your wadding. So you've got all of your wadding there to make the quilt. And then inside this, all in the bag, here we go, are your instructions. So it talks you through the whole process of how to make exactly what you can see. So when this arrives, you don't need anything except your sewing machine and maybe a bit of an idea of how you make a quilt. But it's a little miniature quilt. You could incorporate this if you wanted to. You could multi-buy these and make a bigger version. Or you could frame it. Or the front of a cushion. Really thorough instructions. And that finished quilt that it makes up, this is the finished size, so it's 22 inches by 22 inches, it's a square. And also, if you've got the those wooden hooks we were talking about on the wall to hang up quilts this morning, you could use that for this. Sometimes I think it's quite nice to not do the thinking. I think these kits take the thinking out of it. If you want to do a quilting project and perhaps the creative juices aren't flowing in terms of wanting to figure out what blocks you want to do or what order you want to put things in or what colours or fabrics, and you don't want to try and match things up, this takes the work out of it. You've got everything there you need to make the block. All you need to do is apply the skill and the sewing machine to that. So you've got all of your colours, all of your fabrics, all of your wadding, and all of your instructions to hold your hand through the process. So that's that houses one there. Now the next one we have made up here, this one is called Hole in the Barn Door. So this is a slightly smaller size. This is a rectangle, so it's 17 inches by 22 inches. This is a very traditional block, and what's lovely about this is they've honoured that by using very traditional colours. So you're using burgundies, using the sort of neutrals and deep, rich colours as well here. This is the finished Hole in the Barn Door. I've not heard of that before, Hole in the Barn Door. I don't know if there's an original, I bet there's a story behind that. So you can see that you've just got those six sections in the middle, and obviously you've got that lovely border around the outside. And again, everything you need inside the kit. So this is how it comes to you. It doesn't look like, doesn't look huge, like very much, but it does make everything in there is in this kit. There it is, all of your fabrics. So you've got golden, blues, reds, and those patterns and colours all working really well together. CTHN53. We've just received a message in from Northern Ireland, from Ruth. First time watch channel, loving it. Husband at work, I'll hide my parcel when it arrives. Mad crafter. Good stuff. That's great, Ruth. I'm glad you found us. Where have you been? We've been here since January. We were talking yesterday about what we're going to do for our birthday in January. We need to have some sort of big sewing quarter celebration. But I'm glad you found us, Ruth. You finally found us. And tell your friends all about us. Maybe if you're, as you say, a mad crafter, if you go to sewing classes and workshops and things, spread the word about Sewing Quarter. Because as well, it's a two-way thing. We love to hear from you. There's no point in us doing all of this if you don't still love your sewing and your crafting and everything you do. And we want to inspire you, and we're also inspired by you and the pictures you send in and the requests and the questions you have. And we like to as well we hope that we respond to the things that you ask, and maybe we're led by the things that you request and want to see. So no, it's lovely. I'm glad you found us, Ruth. So that's Hole in the Barn Door. Now we haven't got this one as a finished made up version, very autumnal, the Leaves quilt. What is it, how many leaves on there? 16 different leaves, and in lovely autumnal coppers and burgundies, and also you've got sort of a ticking stripe fabric in this one too for your border. I might open this just to show the fabrics. Our floor manager Jay is like, every time I open a packet, he has to re-put it back in and make it look like it should look. He's like, don't open them. I'll try and keep it neat. Okay, so we've got a really soft. I'm trying to think how to describe it. This almost looks tea stained. You know that sort of colour where you do the old-fashioned sort of tea staining. And this one here, a khaki colour. Then you've got your forest green with a really intricate, small, detailed pattern on that. But they're really lovely fabrics. They're nice quality, actually. Then you've got your navy. They almost, as it's an autumn, and it's autumn leaves is the name of it. Those almost look like acorns. Then you've got little stars here on the golden yellow. And you've got your red. And then you've got your cream. That's a bit bright, isn't it? Let me just tip that down. You can see the pattern on that. And then also you've got your stripe. But all of those together, if I just hold them, let me just get them organised on my hand. I don't think I've made it too messy, Jay. He's like, here we go. Those are your colours. And then here, all of your instructions, all of your wadding as well. You've got your backing fabric there as well in this kit. But this is the leaves, how it looks. Let me just move it away from there so you can see. Finished size is again 22 inches by 22 inches. So just looking at it from a backing perspective, that's the size. Okay. I resisted the temptation to open those up. Kept it nice and neat and tidy. And then we also, have we done those 3 quilts? Did we do all? Yes, we've done all 3. Which one's most popular at the moment? The houses. Those are popular houses. Oh, and I've knocked the monkey over. Monkey in a house. I'll pick him up in a second. OXHN60. Oh, we're in single figures for the house, so if you do like that one, please do check out your baskets on that, the number there on the bottom of your screens or on the website. We've got so many lovely messages. I've got another one coming through on here now. Morning, Janet. What a beautiful set of miniature quilts. Especially love the house block. Well, you're not alone. That's the most popular one this morning. This one here. It's great hearing from you. Really, really lovely. It's easy when you're in here. Obviously you can't see what I can see, but I'm in a studio looking at cameras and JR floor manager, and I've got people in my ear. I don't see you, so it's lovely to hear from you and know you are there on the other side of the telly, and you're there doing what you're doing with your tea or your coffee, and you're watching us, and that you're inspired by what we've got on the show. So this is the house block quilt. Everything in that kit. So you get all of your fabric, all of your wadding, all of your instructions. You've just got to assemble it and know that you're going to get something that looks exactly like that. So next up, more gifts under £40. They just keep coming this morning in this hour. Got to keep it moving because we've got lots of things to show you. Now these are little kits that have got everything in them to make little teddy bears. Edward and Betty, where are our little... Here they are. These are the little bears that these make. So you've got these 2 little bears, everything in the kit to make them. Focusing this morning on gifts, so whether you're giving these as finished gifts or whether you want to give the kit to somebody for them to make themselves. Can we see those little bears? There they are. I just want you to see them. So we'll start with Betty. Let's have a look what's in here. So this kit contains full instructions, full-size templates, fabric to make 1 teddy, and it's 100% cotton, your stuffing, which again is 100% cotton, and a selection of needles and threads, so everything in there in the box. Let's open it up. This is nice. It's like having a little present. So you can see here you've got all of your 2 fabrics in there. So you've got your spot on, your spotty one. And then you've also got a slightly different textured fabric. It has like a corduroy look to it. This is to make this little bear. Obviously, if you are going to give it to a child, just be careful with those little buttons and beads. But that's all included in there. You can see the eyes. Let's move them into the shot. The eyes and the buttons. Because there's button detail on the back where these are attached. Then you also get your instructions. You've got your templates. Oh. And then you've got all of your stuffing in here too. So that whole box jam-packed with everything you need to make the little teddy. I think that's actually a really lovely gift to give as a present for somebody to make themselves. So maybe someone that doesn't sew very much or hasn't sewn very much and is thinking of giving it a try. Of course you can make it and give it to someone, but a nice little way to inspire someone to sew. So I'll keep that little Betty there. I'm being told this one is Betty's boyfriend. What was this one called? Edward. Edward or husband, who knows? Again, everything you need in there. Oh, actually, do I need to open that one up and show you? It's exactly the same, so it's just slightly different fabric, which you can see if I show you the bear. So you've got your gingham fabric and that corduroy look fabric, doing the splits that there. And then you've got the buttons and your little eyes to make that. And you can see there what the kit contains. Full instructions, full templates, all of your fabric, all of your stuffing, and needles and threads as well. So that's the toy sewing kit, £9.95, GQ19. That would make a nice stocking filler as well, if you wanted to pop that in a stocking. There they are. I'm just getting a menagerie of little animals here this morning. Let's put that there. Now, we've also got a cactus. This is from the same company that brought us those two little bears. This one here, you can put it in a little plant pot. I don't think we had a plant pot in the studio this morning, so we've put it in this little... This is a baking dish, isn't it? Like a ramekin. But you can pop a little pudding in there. But this is to make the cactus, which sits in a pot. But you can see, if you see it in a little plant pot, you get more of an idea of how this can actually look. I don't know if that's a fair reflection of what the cactus could look like. There it is in the pot. A lovely little pincushion, once that's stuffed. Our director Tim just said he'd want to put the pins the other way round, so it's actually really spiky. That's definitely dangerous. All of your fabrics in here to make it. I'll just show you the fabric so you can get an idea of the colours and designs. Here we go. Here's your fabrics for the cactus. So you've got a really bright floral. You've got more of a vintage floral as well there. So you can mix and match these. And you sort of, you can just integrate those together so they all peep through like that. And then you've also got your red spot on just to add the detail on the top. And again, all of your instructions and your stuffing all in the box. Again, that's a nice little stocking filler. Actually, the other thing I always think is when you do Secret Santa. So if you do Secret Santa maybe at work or in your family or anywhere, maybe in some sort of group, a reading group or sewing group. A sewing group is a good place for a Secret Santa. You probably make all your little gifts. But that's a nice Secret Santa gift, I think. £5.95, so great value. SHGQ53. Now, next up, we're moving from boxes to we've had foxes in boxes, we've had monkeys in a bag, we've had two little bears in boxes and cactuses in boxes. We're now moving to tubes. So, I think this is like a stress ball. This has got like a bean bag. We're making little frogs in this tube. There they are. Let's have a look so you can see. They're really lovely. I tell you what though, my nan absolutely hates frogs. She's got a pond in the garden and she's got a bit of a phobia of frogs. She really, really hates them. And once one got in the house and I remember she screamed, ran through the patio doors. Absolutely not a fan of frogs. So in this tube, I believe you get enough to make both of the frogs. Yes, you do. So you've got everything in there to make those two frogs. And rather than stuffing with these ones, the filling for these you need to add yourself. So whether that's pellets or like a beanbag stuffing. But if you can just see, it makes them nice and they're nice and weighty, and you can. I directly just said they're like odd-shaped juggling balls. If I could juggle, I'd give that a go, but I can't juggle. But they are like little stress balls, or you could use these as paperweights because they have got that height to them. Our two little flat frogs. And in the kit, this is a great beginner's kit. You've got your fabric in there. Nice colourful fabric. This looks a bit like a Tilda. There you go. So you've got the blue and pink. And also you could mix and match these different ways. I'd maybe be inclined to pop those two together. And then you've got a ditzy floral and a gingham green as well. Oh, we've had an email in from Alice. She said her sister collects frogs, so she's going to get this and make these for her. And you've got your thread in there as well. And then all of your instructions. Let's move that down. How to make it. And your templates. So little beanbag frogs. What's lovely about all these little gifts we're bringing you this morning is they're self-contained. So rather than feeling like you've got to get, so all of the different elements. So you might have everything you need to make the toy, but you don't have the eyes, or you don't have the stuffing, or you don't have the thread that quite matches the fabric. Everything is contained in that little tube or tub or tin or box. And so you've got everything you need to go, everything to do the project. Let's move those along. So those are our frog bean bags, £9.95. This is from the Crafty Kit Company. That's a good name. I like that. And also from the Crafty Kit Company, we've got a little owl. This reminds me of the Michael Miller. We have fabric that you can colour in, and we had owls on those. It's a very similar, similar design of the owl shape. Owl director just said it looks a right hoot. Having a little hoot. So the Crafty Patchwork Owl. Again, a nice little gift if you want to. I think it's really nice if you do sew yourself and maybe you want to introduce children or grandchildren to sewing. There's some excitement to creating a toy and something they can take home with them. And also it's not an overly complicated or long project. It's something that's quite manageable. And it can be hand sewn if you want to. So perhaps if you're watching and you think, do you know what, I would like to do a bit of sewing or have it a go, give it a go, you can hand sew it. You don't need to have a machine. Maybe you haven't got one at home. So everything you get in the kit, your fabrics, your templates, your stuffing, which looks a bit like a floating cloud in that picture, but it is there, I can assure you, and your instructions. You get your buttons as well for the eyes, our little owl eyes. So there it is, our owl in a tube. Let me show you that once more. £9.95 for the patchwork owl. He looks like his eyes. You know when people's eyes, you know when they, in cartoons, when the eyes go funny and they all go swirly? It looks a bit like that, doesn't it? LTAE 64, £9.95. Our crazy owl. Now we're moving on to tins. So, on the owl theme, we've also got an owl in a tin. So, now we're getting pride from the gallery upstairs. Producer Hannah made this one. Sew up the owl. So with this is slightly different. Rather than having to make the whole thing, so this was a patchwork owl where you assemble the whole thing. This actually comes, I don't know if we've got a picture of where, so I can show you. It comes like this. Can we go in a little bit closer so you can see? All you've got to do is sew up the back. So it comes with a shell almost of an owl. And what you do is you just have to stuff it and sew it up. So it's a really quick project. Here's the owl. He's a fluffy little one. This one looks like more of a wise owl, I think. And at the back, you can see here, this is another hand-stitched project, so something that you don't need a machine for. All you've got to do is just sew up its back. And what you actually get in here is a plastic needle. So this is really great for introducing children to sewing, because obviously this needle here, it's going to go through, but there's no, it's not sharp. I can push that against my finger, where it's plastic. Hannah sewed the whole thing with that, so all you've got to do is just sew the back up. And then again, you get all of your instructions for the sew-up owl. Oh, I'll show you that in a sec on the back. You also get a little owl house made out of cardboard that you can make, so you can leave your owl to roost. Here's the instructions for the owl. So talking you through the process with the stuffing. And on the back, see that little owl house? Can you see that's a bit shiny, isn't it? But you also get this cardboard cutout to make a little shell for the owl to sit in. And also the tin itself. Tins are always useful, aren't they? For biscuits and food-related items, no, for anything at all. So that little owl sits in there. Again, a nice present if you want to. So really quite far beneath that bracket of £40, some of these gifts this morning. £10.95. There he is. He's very soft, actually. Soft and squidgy. And there it is. Sew me up owl. All you've got to do is stuff it. Stuff it and sew it up. SQAE 80, £10.95. Now, also in that tin collection, we've got the hedgehog. Oh, let's see. Have we got one that's not... Have we got one that's, this is so cute. You get a hedgehog, and where is it, what does it say here? The hoglet, so it's a little mini hedgehog. Look, here's a baby hedgehog. Let me show you in the tin. I haven't heard that word, a hoglet. I didn't know that was a baby hedgehog. I've learned something this morning. Hedgehog and the hoglet, there they are. These are the made-up ones, so these are when they're finished. That is adorable. And look at this one. That's really cute. Again, in your tin, you get all of your instructions in there. I am just going to show you what these look like in case you're not sure what I mean about you with just having to stuff it and sew it up at the back. So this is from another, the same thing. It comes like this, almost like a glove or a shell, if you like. So it's just, this is how it arrives in the tin in the packet. And it's empty, so I can squash that down flat. But at the back, there's just a little opening there. And you get your stuffing in this kit and your plastic needle and thread, and you've got the hoglet on there too. But you just use the instructions to stuff it in that hole in the back, and then it goes from this flat version to this little finished one. I like hedgehogs. When you see one in the garden, JUAE06 at $10.95 for a hedgehog, or for 2 little hedgehogs. I want to remember that hoglet. I need to put that in my brain. I'd like to remember that word. Okay, let's pop that one on there. Look how many animals I've got on my desk this morning. This is great. Let's move that tin to the side. Now we're going to add another animal. This one is from Cloth Kits. So lots of you might be familiar with Cloth Kits for their dress designs or little garments and things that you might make for children. And a lot of these, they print them onto panels, and then all you've got to do is assemble it. So our tall giraffe, really bright and bold in that bold pumpkin orange and the bright blue as well. It's quite a retro design giraffe, really, with his legs. And he does stand up. I can leave him. I can step away from the desk. I'll leave the giraffe there to do my job this morning, shall I? What's he going to say? And let's have a look at the how this actually arrives. So as I said, Cloth Kits print this onto a panel. So what you have to do is cut it out and put it together. So it arrives like this. Here it is. One big piece, almost like if you're familiar with bunting panels, where it's all printed on there and you've got to cut it out. So you can see there you've got the 2 sides and then the legs as well. So you cut that out. And then in here you've got your thread as well, so you know that that's going to match perfectly with the colour of the giraffe. And then your instructions as well, which say, are you having a giraffe? Cut and stuff your own. So it tells you all your instructions there. Cut out the panel, all of those things. There's the step-by-step process for that, so you end up with your giraffe cuddly toy. ASCY63, $11.95. You just need stuffing to add to that kit. So I know this morning we have got a lot of different kits that have different things in them. Some of them do come with all of the stuffing. Some of them you have to add it to. So I am aware of trying to sort of keep you informed of what's in each kit this morning, so you do know. You even get in here, this is the attention to detail, a little Cloth Kits tag that you could add to the giraffe if you wanted to. So you've got that little branded tag that you can add on. So that's our giraffe. The giraffe can stay. He can stay, join the collection. There we go, thank you. Oh, we've got another message in from Janet. Morning. What a beautiful set of miniature quilts, especially love the house block. So that's that one there on the front. And we've also got one from Lucy. Morning, Lucy. Please, please, please. May I wish your daughter Evie is going to be happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, Evie. I'll sing you happy birthday if we had some more people here, but I'm glad you're watching. Oh, you're watching on YouTube this morning. Great, that's brilliant. Are you into sewing? You have to let us know. How old is Evie? Let me know. Happy birthday, Evie. I hope you're having a lovely day. Which animal do you like? What one's your favourite? Let me know. Is it the giraffe, hedgehog, frogs, bears, owls, monkeys, foxes? Got a few to choose from there. Happy birthday, Evie. So we've also got a blue quilt kit. So this is great for beginners. I'm going to open it out so you can see. So this is what's in the kit. Let's lay that on the table. This one's from So Easy. You get all of your fabric in here. If we open this up. Is this the backing? Yes. So you've got here your spot on blue, and that soft powder blue. So you can see that there's been used in the blocks in the binding as well. Then you've got your white. It might be very bright. I don't want to blind you. And then you've also got your florals. This is a really lovely first quilt, so a first patchwork project. It's a really simple block formation, so it's nice and easy. And inside you've got your, I won't lay this down because all of the white is making it all a bit bright on your screen, so I'll read it to you instead. Story time with Amy. So we've got cutting instructions all in here, sewing instructions, attaching the borders, layering the quilt, the quilting itself, so actually quilting once you've got your wadding in there, and binding the quilt, talking you through that step by step. Nice simple blocks, nice easy beginner quilt, all the fabric you need to make it. And I don't know what the finished size of that one is, let me check. It's 39 inches by 49 inches, so it's quite a sizable quilt. A little baby one. Now, we also have a cushion that matches this. So if you're making this maybe for a children's bedroom, you want to have matching cushions to go with it, or for the conservatory or anywhere you like. And you want to have the cushions that match in too. This is the cushion kit. Oh, I like the backing on this. That's snazzy. And that's upside down, isn't it? Let me turn it round. So you've got a nice little patchwork cushion. And there it is. So all of the fabric in there that you need to make the cushion, including the backing. Oh, I could get cosy here now. I've got cuddly toys, I've got cushions and quilts. What more can you ask for? Look at those fabrics there. So the finished size of this cushion is 18 inches by 18 inches, so this is a square cushion, and those different fabrics just showing in the back so you can see. You've got your greens, you've got your blues, and also your whites. It's just coming, so you can see that close up. HZGQ74 14.95. Let's move that one along. Here we go. Thank you, Jay. He's been working hard this morning, our floor manager, running around. Then we've also got this in a pink version. So if you've got the blue, if you like it in the pink, then, it's exactly the same products, but just in a different colourway. So I'll start with the pink cushion as we just did. Oh, we've done the quilt. The quilt's on the screen, so I'll start with the quilt. You can see there, I'll show you the back so you can see the fabrics. And then we've also got that in a cushion. Here's the made-up cushion, patchwork cushion. Really simple, nice, simple, straight squares, no curves to cut, nothing too tricky. You could just chain piece that centre section. And that's the cushion kit with all of your fabrics inside. So you've just got to add the stuffing. VIGQ37, 14.95. So you saw the cloth kits giraffe. We've also got some cloth kits, little toys this morning too. So here's our first one. These are quite cool actually. This is what it looks like. And this is another panel make, so I'll show you the actual panel in a second. I think the way he's dressed, he looks like he's like an old-fashioned weightlifter or something. So this is a ragdoll cloth kit. It arrives like this, so it's all wrapped up. Here we go. Let's move these to the sides. Okay. So you can see there the face. Now, these are taken from the original 70s and 80s cloth kits designs, so they are a bit old school, and they're meant to be. They're based on those designs. So lots of people actually sent in pictures of them with their cloth kit dolls when they were little. So you might have had these for years, and they become things that sort of get passed through the family. But you can see all of the elements there to make the outfits, the clothes for the little rag doll. There it is. He's actually got more clothes than he's wearing. Our doll is missing his jacket. So there is more to it than that. He's got, look, underneath, he's got trousers on, but you can put a jacket on too. So that's the male version. I wonder if anybody else has got pictures of these when they were little. Let me move this. Now also in there you've got all of your instructions, your threads, and your poppers as well for the jacket. So you do get to make clothes for them that you can take on and off. So that's another panel make. And then we've also got a girl's version of that. A ragdoll, a girly ragdoll. This is getting a bit crazy. All these, look at these, all these toys. This is the girl. Ah, come on, sit up. Don't misbehave now. There we go. This one it's quite traditional colours with peaches and also with your blues and yellows. But these are original designs. So this is the Poly Cloth Kits design. And the actual doll underneath has got, you can just see here, you can make little garments. Got a few clothing options there, wardrobe options under the dress. And then the actual panel, again, as with the boys one, everything printed on there. Oh, this was one, when we originally showed this, this was the one that really did seem to evoke a lot of memories, a lot of people with these and familiar with these and having had them when they were a child. That's the panel, there, with all the elements you need to cut out and make the doll and the clothes themselves. But based on that, as I said, that original design from Cloth Kits. And I'm sure some of you may as well have had clothes made from their kits. And as we still have them on the show now, patterns, and really, really popular. And a very clever idea. Everything, it's a British company, and that Poly Ragdoll is a classic. Yeah, that does look a bit like a teapot there, doesn't it? Teacup. There she is. So we'll remove this one. We've got 2 more tins. Just with those kits as well, you've got all of your threads and instructions in that too. So, quickly these last 2 tins. This is Teddy in a tin. This is another one that you're just going to stuff. And with this as well, you get all little pieces in here to make the scarf. A little bag. I'll show you this when it's not made up. But it's all wrapped like, oh, he looks a bit squashed. His face looks a bit squashed. I hope little Evie's not, look at how, there in there. But this is, you've got your stuffing and everything in there you need to make it. £10.95, ADAE 46. Okay. So, should we look at the menu for what's coming up tomorrow? On tomorrow's show, yes, we've got the Robins in, so even more toys. We've got a brand new Joe Carter design being launched tomorrow morning, the Christmas Robin, so just in time for you to make for Christmas. At 8 AM, we've also got some brand new Tim Holtz fabrics, so we're launching those by the half metre. We've never, ever had Tim Holtz by the half metre before, so that's a nice Friday treat for you. Rockin' Robin, Tilda, and also Joe's Elephant is back, so that's sold out in minutes last time. We've got that back in tomorrow morning. We've also got some exciting news. We had a competition, a Liberty competition. We asked you to send in your Liberty makes on our Facebook page, and we had loads of entries in, so thank you for sharing those. Here's our winner, Mary Douglas. I hope you're watching this morning. You're going to win we're going to contact you. You're going to win a Liberty Fat Quarter Bundle. But all of the terms and conditions that were on the website. But thank you so much for sharing your little Liberty English paper piecing foot tool. That's really clever, very intricate. I bet that took absolutely ages. Well done, Mary. I hope you're watching and you're ready to, we'll send your prize out to you. So we've got loads of different toys in this hour. We've had a manic morning with those advent calendars. Well done if you managed to get one. I can't wait to share that process with you in December as you open your little windows. Hopefully we'll manage to get them back in stock. Thank you so much for your company today. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. We've got Rockin' Robins and Elephants. We'll see you bright and early in the morning at 8 o'clock. Bye.
This Friday, Joe Carter's sellout elephant is trundling back into town. This popular soft toy makes its return just in time for Christmas. With a complete kit and a trunk full of hints and tips, Joe will make it easy for you to create a handmade gift your family will never forget. So join Joe Carter and Amy Burrows for a really wild hour of toy making fun. Friday the 27th of October at 11 AM, only on Sewing Quarter Freeview Channel 78.